subscribe, come on in and feel alive. J.R. Mark's got the coffee hot, funniest channel hitting every spot. Champions rise, raise them high, laughing loud beneath the Aussie sky. Cigar, coffee, lose all night. J.R. Mark's make the whole world bright. He make a booby grin, then a crazy sound. Hope Jack explode when he's fooling around. 1 minute serious, next minute wild. Everybody watching like a happy child. The champion gather from near and far, living life easy like an old guitar. No stress here, just jokes and fun. Another live stream till the morning sun.
What's up, champions? Welcome to another Champion Creative Hangout number 22. L'chaim, all you pro-Palestinian liberal bastards of X.com. Oh, champions, I was on a journey last night on X.com. You know, I say one nice thing about Israel, and then all these inbred retard gremlins, liberal, and oh my god, we're so pro-Palestinian. If you know, we don't know what that is. So here's the thumbnail to them. They represent all the dumbasses I was fighting back and forth on Twitter last night, X.com. Yo, Tonio, what's up? Cheers. Tonio first as always, thank you. Let's jump on to some YouTube. What else do we have? Oh, Copper Cabs Live, good for him. But I think I want to start with some fails. I wonder if there are any, based on the thumbnail, pro-Palestinian liberal fails. I'm sure it exists. What's this? Oh, it's 7 years ago, who cares? Oh, we got a short. There we go.
Viva, viva das!
Well, there you go. That was the pro-Palestinian fails. They automatically get into the police officer's face and they get tased and pepper sprayed and thrown to the ground. Good. How does it feel, you stupid trolls on X? Oh, Tony, you should have been on me on X last night. Oh, you would have been shocked at all the anti-Semitic bastards spewing anti-Jew filth towards me. But who cares? Let's check out Champion Tonio's link. The one and only Champion Tonio. First, as always, let's check out your link. Shocked at all the anti-Semitic bastards spewing anti-Jew filth towards me. But who cares? Let's check out Champion Tonio's link. The one and only Champion Tonio. First, as always, let's check out your link. Shocked at all the anti-Semitic bastards spewing anti-Jew filth towards me. Sorry. Hey, Plush, welcome back. Hell yeah, horror stories. Since it's the latest stream, so it's perfect to be streaming. Legend of Legends returns. MG Maddox, welcome back. I will start doing some later streams as well. You guys seem to be jumping on at different times. But anyway, 4 disturbing late night drive horror stories. Midnight Nightmare.
Any trucker will tell you, the one thing you don't drive past is a flare. You drop your speed, you radio it in, and you thank whoever lit it. That's the code, which is exactly why I almost died. I've been driving long haul out of Las Vegas for 19 years.
I'm an emo.
Refrigerated freight, produce, pharmaceuticals, some restaurant supply. I've run Route 93 north through Nevada probably 200 times. That stretch between Vegas and Ely is one of those drives where you stop seeing the road after a while. Flat, dark, white line,
Jackson,
mile
Jericho's
markers going by at 65. You get used to it the way you get used to anything you do enough times. You stop noticing. That changed the night of October 14th, 2022. It was 2:47 a.m. I know the time because I checked my logbook right before I spotted it. I was running 15 minutes behind schedule, had a refrigerator unit that had been acting up outside of Henderson, a loose cable on the temperature sensor that had cost me 2 stops to diagnose. Nothing dangerous, just time-consuming. I was pushing to make it up on a stretch of highway I could have driven in my sleep. No other headlights in either direction, no side roads, no structures, just desert on both sides and whatever my high beams could reach. That's when I saw the flare. It was burning on the shoulder about a half mile out, that orange-red glow you can't mistake for anything else on a dark highway. I was already lifting off the gas before I consciously thought about it. That's how deep that response is wired in after 19 years. Hazard ahead, slow down, be ready to help. I got on the CB and called it out, then started scanning the shoulder for whatever broke down.
Do I look like an
Here's
AI
where it started
character?
feeling wrong. I got within maybe 300 yards of the flare and there was nothing on the shoulder. No vehicle, no broken down car, no trailer, no motorcycle. Just a flare burning by itself on the gravel. Full length, burning hard.
Champion, shocking.
And it was new. I could tell by the intensity.
Horribly
A fresh
and deeply
flare
abhorred.
burns with a sharp orange-white core. This one hadn't been out there more than 10 or 15 minutes. There's no reason to light a flare on an empty shoulder with nothing broken down next to it. I told myself maybe they'd pulled further ahead, out of my sight line.
Maybe they were having a flare party. You know, like the Palestinian protesters do. We want freedom. Why? How? Let's destroy the neighborhood. Dumbasses. Oh yeah, it's all about these dumbasses today.
Medical situation, maybe they needed to move. I kept coming
Send
down
me
in
all the
speed,
Karens
watching
and the
the
dumb
road.
liberal videos
Then
you
I
can.
saw the second flare. It was about 100 yards past the first.
I said
And this
dumb
one wasn't on the
liberal.
shoulder.
I didn't say the ones
It was
that are
laid across
sensible.
the outbound lane,
There's a
burning flat
difference.
on the asphalt, forcing anyone coming through to shift left. I started to brake, eyes moving to where the left lane would carry me. And that's when my high beams caught the board. Plywood, a full sheet of it, flat on the pavement, running about 6 feet across the left lane.
Damn.
Dark wood against dark asphalt. I was maybe 80 yards out when I picked it up and I hit the brakes hard. The trailer swayed. I got the truck stopped about 20 feet short. I sat there maybe 10 seconds, engine running, trying to process the fact that someone had driven out to a stretch of empty highway in the middle of the Nevada desert and built a tire destruction device and set it in the road. That's not road debris. That's not an accident. That's preparation. That's someone who drove out there ahead of
it's
time,
horrible.
positioned the flares to force a lane change onto the board, and then waited. Waited for what came next, which I was about to find out. I put the truck in reverse to back away from the board, and that's when I saw them. 2 men came out of the brush on the west shoulder, about 50 yards behind me, walking fast, not running, coming toward the truck, both of them wearing high-vis vests, the orange reflective kind DOT road crews use. One of them had something in his hand, and it took me a second to figure out what it was, because it was so far from what I was expecting. A clipboard, not a weapon, a clipboard, and high-vis vests. They were dressed to look like road workers, coming to help the poor trucker who'd just blown out his tires and was sitting helpless on a dark highway 60 miles from anything. I didn't wait to work through the rest of it. I put the
Cheers,
truck
good
in
health,
drive,
good futures to
cut
all of you.
hard right onto the gravel shoulder to get around the board, and went. The cab bounced hard coming off the lip and the trailer yawed, but I got traction and I got moving. My high beam swept over both men as I pulled out. Both of them stopped walking when I accelerated. One raised the clipboard. The other one just stood there watching me go. I was doing 70 before I hit the next mile marker. I didn't slow down for 18 miles. There's a Flying J at the junction with routes 93 and 318 that runs all night. I pulled in under the canopy lights, parked, and sat in the cab for a few minutes, getting my hands steady enough to dial. I called Nevada Highway Patrol and laid out everything. The mile marker, both flares, the spike board, the two men, the vests, the clipboard. The dispatcher took notes and told me a unit would check the location. Asked me to stay put. I stayed. The unit called back 40 minutes later. No flares at that location. No spike board. Gravel disturbance on the shoulder consistent with a vehicle having parked there recently, but nothing else.
Spooky.
Clean highway. The trooper was calm about it, said they'd had reports of similar setups on isolated Nevada highway stretches over the past year or so. Always commercial vehicles. Always routes where a disabled rig would sit for hours before anyone came by. He said they hadn't made any arrests. I asked him, what happens after you blow 4 tires? After you're sitting there on an empty highway at 3 in the morning with a busted load and 2 men in high-vis vests walking toward you, I wanted to know what they were going to do once they got to the truck. He didn't answer right away. Then he said, we don't fully know yet. That's the part that stayed with me. Not the spike board.
Oh, it's
not the flares.
Shit.
That
He's
answer.
Gonna get kidnapped.
We don't fully know yet, which means other drivers have stopped, which means whatever happened to those drivers, the trooper either didn't have enough evidence to describe it or didn't want to describe it on the phone. I found out from another driver about 6 weeks later, a guy who runs that same corridor out of Reno, that a DOT inspector had been reported missing from a stretch of Route 93 about 40 miles north of my incident. That was 3 months before my night. The investigation went cold fast. No trace of him past his last location check on that highway. His high-vis vest was never recovered. Neither was his clipboard. I'm not drawing a line between those two things for you. I don't know what the connection is, but I drive that stretch 4 times a month, and I think about it every single time I see a flare on the shoulder with no vehicle next to it. I don't slow down anymore. I know that's not the code. I know what I was taught. But they built that trap around the version of me that was trained to help, and I'm not going to be that version on a dark highway at 3 in the morning again.
Smart choice. Story 2. Oh, spooky. Oh,
My father was a state trooper for 32 years. Idaho State Police, retired as a corporal. I grew up around it. The uniform, the vehicle, the way officers carry themselves when they approach a car. I've ridden along on traffic stops. I know the protocol almost as well as he does. The man who pulled me over on Highway 95 south of Riggins last March almost had it right. Almost. I'm a medical device sales rep. I cover hospitals and surgical centers across southern Idaho and northern Nevada, which means I do a lot of night driving. Rural highways, long distances, towns that are 2 hours apart. I'm used to it. I was heading home from a late dinner meeting in Grangeville. It was about 12:50 a.m. on a 2-lane stretch of 90.
Like, subscribe, check out Midnight Nightmare, join all the awesome compilation stories of horror of all kinds. Of course, Champion Tonio suggested the link, thank you. And then we got Plush, so no worries at all. But because of today's thumbnail, the theme is stupid liberal Karen bitch ass, no pussy getting ass, more focus. More or less. That anti-Jewish and evil, and wouldn't give a shit if a terrorist was in front of him. So send me all the dumb liberal Karen shit you can today. I'm intrigued.
95 that runs through the Salmon River Canyon. No streetlights, no other traffic. The road carved between a rock wall on one side and a drop to the river on the other, 60 miles from the nearest town. The red and blue lights appeared in my mirror without any warning. No car I'd noticed behind me, just lights suddenly there. I pulled over immediately because that's what you do. I put it in park, hands on the wheel, interior light on. My dad drilled that into me before I ever got my license. The vehicle behind me was a sedan, beige, maybe tan, 4-door. As it pulled up behind me, I could see the light bar. It was mounted inside the front windshield, the kind that sits on the dash and projects out. Law enforcement calls those ghost packages. Unmarked units run them sometimes. Legal. But the car was a Hyundai Sonata. Base trim. Looked like. I know police vehicle procurement because my dad complained about it for 3 decades. No department in the state of Idaho runs Sonatas.
Well, he's
Not
lucky
as
to have
patrol
a
vehicles,
copy.
not as unmarked
His
units.
dad's a cop.
The fleet is almost entirely domestic. Ford, Chevy, Dodge, because of maintenance contracts and parts availability. I noted it, didn't move, kept my hands visible. The officer got out and came to my window. That's where the second thing caught me. He was holding his flashlight overhand, fist wrapped around the barrel, beam pointing down from the back of his hand. That's a specific grip. Tactical, learned. But it's the wrong one for a traffic stop. Real officers approach with the flashlight held
I can see it
underhand,
coming.
up near the shoulder, keeping their weapon hand free. My dad explained this to me when I was 12 years old. It's not something civilians would know to fake wrong. I rolled the window down. He asked for my license, not registration, not insurance, just license. He didn't have a ticket book, no citation pad, no electronic device, no radio on his belt, no radio at all.
Drive off, dude.
There was a badge on his shirt, but it was the kind you can order online.
It's fake.
Generic enough
Run.
that it caught the light without giving you any detail. He asked me how fast I thought I was going. I told him I didn't believe I was speeding. He nodded, like that was a reasonable answer. Then he asked me to step out of the vehicle and walk to the rear. That's where I stopped. A real traffic stop, absent a DUI suspicion or a specific safety reason, does not require the driver to exit the vehicle. My father told me that explicitly, and even when an officer does ask you to step out, they don't send you to the rear of the car. That's behind both vehicles in the dark, away from any passing traffic that might see you, away from the dash cam on the patrol unit. I looked at him through the window for a moment. Then I said, "Sir, I'd like to call dispatch and verify your badge number before I step out. I hope you understand." I had my phone up before I finished the sentence. He didn't say anything, didn't reach for anything. He took one step
Good.
back from my window, turned around, walked back to the Sonata,
Drive off.
got in, and drove away. No
Ah,
lights,
wow,
no
lucky.
acceleration.
Lucky.
Just pulled back onto the highway and went south. I sat there for probably 2 minutes before I moved. Then I called 911. The actual dispatcher, a real one, confirmed there was no traffic stop at my location in their system. No unit assigned to that stretch of 95 that night. She flagged the report and told me she'd pass it along to the district commander. I called my father when I got home. He listened to the whole thing without interrupting. When I finished, he was quiet for a moment, and then he said, "You did the right thing, asking for the badge number." He said it the way he says things when something is bothering him more than he wants to let on. About 2 weeks later, I was talking to the Lemhi County Sheriff's Office on an unrelated matter. I have contacts there through my work, and I brought it up. The deputy I was speaking with knew immediately what I was describing. He said they'd had 6 reports in the past 8 months of a man running a ghost package light bar on a beige sedan on that stretch of Highway 95. Always late at night, always targeting single drivers on isolated sections. Every single report ended the same way. The driver mentioned calling dispatch to verify the badge number. The man got back in his car and left. I asked the deputy what he thought would have happened if a driver hadn't said that. He said they didn't know. That was the thing keeping them up about it. Every time they got close to figuring out the pattern, it broke off. Nobody who'd been stopped had stepped out of their car. Nobody had given him what he was waiting for. Nobody could figure out what that was. The deputy told me the Sonata had been caught on a trail camera at a fishing access point about 4 miles south of where he stopped me. The plate came back as a vehicle reported stolen from a rental lot in Boise. It was found abandoned near
Boise.
McCall 2 weeks after my stop.
That sounds
Wiped
manly.
clean. No prints. No DNA. Nothing in the car that connected it to anyone. I still drive that highway. I have to. My territory covers 3 hospitals along that corridor, and I can't avoid it. But I keep my phone unlocked on the passenger seat now. Dispatch number already pulled up. And if lights appear behind me on that stretch, I put my blinker on, I slow down, and the first thing I say when the window comes down is, "Could I get your badge number and unit number, please?" My dad told me real cops have no problem with that question. He also told me that the ones who do have a problem with it are telling you something.
It gets more and more suspenseful, champions. I'm so intrigued, that's why I'm being quiet. Number 3. What will this one be?
I've driven across that bridge 80 times. I know it the way you know a road you've taken to work for 5 years. Not consciously, not with attention, just in the body. 2 lanes, no shoulder, no pull-off for half a mile in either direction once you're on the span. The kind of bridge where if something goes wrong in the middle, you are in the middle, and that's all there is to it. That night, 2 cars were stopped on it. I'm a traveling nurse. Float pool, which means I go where the need is. Sometimes local, sometimes 3 or 4 hours out. I cover Missouri and parts of southern Illinois, and the route home from the hospital in Quincy takes me across a 2-lane bridge over the Mississippi, out on Route 61. I know that bridge. I've crossed it in fog, in rain, in the dark, in every condition it offers. It was 11:50 p.m. I was coming off a 14-hour shift, and I was running on autopilot and bad coffee. Lights ahead on the bridge. I registered them as brake lights before I registered what they meant. And by the time I understood...
How you doing, champions? Might as well get into conversations. How are you chaps doing? You're doing good. I always like to know. Going strong with work and life and everything else? How you doing, Plush and Antonio, MG, if you're still that? Everyone going good? Always like to know. Alright. A bit more of this, and we'll get into Plush's link.
Understood that 2 cars were stopped nose to nose on a 2-lane bridge with no shoulder and nowhere for me to go. I was already on the span. My first thought was accident. 2 cars hit each other. They stopped. Everyone gets out. Standard. I slowed down and scanned the cars for damage. No glass on the pavement. Windshields intact. No deployed airbags visible. And no crumple. I'm looking at both front ends and the bumpers are clean. Even a low-speed collision leaves something. These bumpers look like they'd never touched anything. I worked in a trauma bay for 4 years.
Liberal.
I know what accident scenes look like.
God, I'm
This was not
offended
one.
every second
There
of
were
every
4
moment
men
of every
outside
hour
the 2
of every
cars,
day.
2 per
Me.
vehicle, all of them pacing, not in the frantic way of people dealing with a crisis, but in the deliberate way of people doing something organized. One of them had his phone raised, which I first read as filming the scene for insurance purposes. Then I noticed where he was pointing it, not at the cars. He was filming the lanes behind the stopped vehicles. He was filming the direction cars would approach from. He was filming me. I checked my rear view. The bridge behind me was empty when I'd driven onto it. Now there was a
you gotta
pickup
check your
truck
rear,
stopped
champions.
about 30 yards
Especially
back,
when it involves creepy
hazard
people.
lights blinking, blocking the lane behind me. No one had been there. I hadn't heard it approach. It was just there. I had my phone in my hand before I finished the thought. I dialed 911 and it connected on the second ring. A woman's voice, calm. 911, what's your emergency? I told her exactly where I was. The bridge, Route 61, the 2 stopped cars, the men, the pickup behind me. She said, ma'am, we already have a unit responding to that bridge. You need to stay in your vehicle. I said, okay. I looked ahead at the 2 cars, looked in my rear view at the pickup, then looked ahead again as one of the men started walking toward me. Hands out, the way you hold them when you want to signal harmless. He was maybe 40 yards away, walking straight at my driver's side. I have almost 13 years of clinical experience. I've worked codes, I've worked traumas, I've worked...
I am going to have to buy some more stronger adhesive strips or something to keep these goddamn black soundproof panels on my tent walls. Now, I know my tent walls aren't the best material to keep them on. But there is a will, there is a way, champions. So, when we first don't succeed, we try again until we do. That's called effort. Something liberals don't know about. Let's move on.
Nights alone in underfunded rural facilities. I know what controlled looks like versus chaotic. That man's walk was controlled. No urgency in it, no fear, no relief at someone stopping. He walked toward me the way a person walks toward a thing they've already decided belongs to them. No police unit came. The man was 20 yards out. I looked in my rear view. The pickup was still stopped behind me. Then I looked at the gap between the 2 stopped cars and the concrete railing on the pedestrian walkway alongside the bridge. It was narrow, maybe 6 inches wider than my car on each side. I took the gap. I don't entirely remember making the decision. I remember the sound of my right mirror snapping against the concrete railing and the scrape of something along the passenger side, and then I was past the two cars and accelerating, and the bridge was empty ahead of me. I came off the far end of the span going about 55, and I didn't slow down until I hit the first traffic light in Louisiana, Missouri, 4 miles up the road. I pulled into a gas station and sat under the lights and tried to get my breathing even. Then I called 911 back to give them my new location, and that's where things shifted. The dispatcher who answered had no record of my previous call. I gave them my phone number, the timestamp, everything. They checked. There was no 911 call from my number that evening. No record of a prior dispatch to the bridge. No responding unit had been sent. I went home and pulled up my call log. The call I had made from the bridge was listed in my history. 1 minute, 14 seconds. I clicked on it. The number I had called was not 911. It was off by 1 digit. The area code was right, the next 3 numbers were right, and the last digit was a 4 instead of a 1. I have 911 in my contacts, and I know my muscle memory, and I have called that number 100 times in my career. I do not dial 4 instead of 1. I have no explanation for how that happened. The next morning, I filed a full report with the county sheriff's office. An officer went out to the bridge, no vehicles matching my description, no debris from my mirror, which I'd confirmed was broken, anywhere on the span. Nothing. The officer was professional and took everything I said down in writing. But at the end, he asked me if I'd had any alcohol or medication that evening, and I understood what that question meant.
Medication.
The right side of my car has a 14-inch scrape along the door panel and a missing passenger mirror.
It was
the damage
me,
happened
officer. It was the
somewhere.
one-armed man.
The concrete on that bridge is textured and distinctive, and if someone wanted to find the transfer marks, they could find them. Nobody went to look for them. I still cross that bridge once or twice a month. I have to. The hospital in Quincy is part of my usual rotation, and there's no other reasonable crossing for 30 miles either direction. But I go in the right lane now, not the left. I don't know why I think that helps. It probably doesn't. What I do know is that there are no accidents on that bridge in the sheriff's database for the month this happened. No calls, no reports. I checked, which means no one else who was on that bridge that night filed a report, which means either I was the only car they stopped, or the others didn't make it off the span. I've been through that automatic car wash probably 60 times. Same car wash, same time, same routine. It's on my way home from the facility I work security at. It's open 24 hours. And after an overnight shift in a commercial building with no windows, there's something about driving through the rinse cycle at 2 a.m. that I find, I don't know, calming, maybe. Like a reset before I go home and try to sleep during the day. The only time I ever locked my doors on the conveyor was the last time. I do overnight security at a distribution facility in Phoenix. Cameras, patrols, access control, the standard stuff. It's not exciting work, but it pays well, and the nights are mostly uneventful. I've been doing it for 3 years. I'm used to empty spaces at weird hours. I'm used to being the only person somewhere that's built for hundreds of people. You get a feel for when something's off because you spend so much time around nothing that something registers immediately.
Well, that's good, but I will move on. Yuck. Excuse me. I don't want any bits of tobacco in my mouth. Oh, we got Plush's link now. What will it be? Time will tell. Time changes everything. Time waits for no man. Oh, hang on, what happened? Oh, why is it always plush that never shows up? Hotel. Time changes everything. Time waits for no man. Okay, here we go.
Since the early 2000s, I'd wanted my own small...
Hang on, what happened? Another horror story compilation? If it shows up... Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, we go. Oh, we go.
Since the early 2000s, I...
Chilling nights. Free, disturbing, true farm horror stories. Whoa. Danger in the farm? There's a demon in the barn. Get your pitchfork. Kill it.
wanted my own small-scale farm. I think the popular term is hobby farm. While I have no intention of having thousands of acres or a large herd of cattle, I am hoping to make a go of it year-round. Just this last year, I found 30 acres close to town. This specific parcel had been part of a larger farm, but was broken off for a member of the owner's family.
Understand that reference?
That family member recently died, making way for my purchase. The house was in good shape, but the outbuildings had seen better days. I began to tear down immediately. With the help of some friends, I was able to get the hay barn completed in fairly short order. I moved on to a second smaller storage building. The winter would slow our work. However, by late spring, the roof was all we had left. Most of it was completed when I had an accident. I was alone, putting on shingles, and lost my footing and fell. My arm was broken. The injury didn't stop me from working my real job. During the healing period, I took all the overtime I could. I'd been avoiding it until then, but it's nice to have all that extra money. I plan on putting it towards supplies to build a chicken tractor and some chickens. Unfortunately, during this time, I lost a family member of my own.
Oh, that's a shame.
He and I had been very close when I was growing up. Since my father spent much of his time on the road, his younger brother would help any way he could. Any major occasions my dad was unable to attend, my uncle always made sure to record it for him. It was a lot like having two dads. My mom also liked having him around. Most of her time was dedicated to my disabled sister. She feared I wasn't getting enough attention. You can see how important he'd become to my family. And myself. His loss has been very hard on me. I found myself brooding on his death more than I should have. Until this past week, when I made a disturbing discovery in the wood shop. My doctor had given me the all clear. The cast was off, and I was free to get back to the farm work. My friends had finished the shingling for me. So, I moved on to the last job. A decent-sized building used for woodworking and carpentry. The benches were still in good shape. I disassembled and stored them. After a cursory inspection, I determined the frame was still solid, so I started by pulling up the floor. The boards from which it was made were rotten and full of holes. I'd made it about halfway, when I found an old tin box under a loose board. It was square, about the size of a lunchbox. Inside, I discovered a few old trinkets and a stack of photographs. The trinkets included some rings, an old lighter, and even a metal barrette with a bow on it. The photos had been placed in face down. I pulled out a stack and turned them over. Most were nude or partially clothed young women. They looked to be from the 80s and 90s. Many were old and faded. As I flipped through, something struck me as odd about them. Soon, I realized what it was. None of the women were smiling. A lot looked scared, in fact. I began turning them over and discovered each had a name and year written on the back. Myra 1988, Sybil 1991, Stephanie 1983. I counted and found 42 in total. These aren't your average dirty pictures. The models didn't look pleased to be taking them. In that moment, a terrible idea popped into my head.
He had kidnapped.
I'd seen something like this before. I watched a documentary about a serial killer. The cops had found loads of pictures in his home. Many of the women still had yet to be identified. I also remembered some killers like to keep objects from their victims. I pulled a plain gold band out of the box. I turned it around until I saw a name engraved inside. The name matched one of the women in the pictures. A terrified blonde from 1981. A shiver ripped through my body. Had I found a serial killer's photo stash?
No, I probably did.
In the middle of Kansas. That's where my idea seemed to fall
in the
flat.
middle of nowhere, champ.
I did
It's
some
isolated.
research, and
It
I
ain't
couldn't find a
around
killer
normal
active at that time.
population. 'Cause that
Not
make
in
no
this
damn
part of the
sense.
state.
All these serial killers would be
Maybe I
caught
jumped to
the first day.
conclusions, and the pictures weren't that bad. I recognized the possibility these deaths occurred under the radar.
Oh, thanks, MG.
It's just
Appreciate
hard to believe 42 women disappeared
champion
without
of
anyone
fire.
noticing. 42. The number's still amazing.
Can't be a proper gentleman savage like that. Gentleman savage. That could be a good name for a podcast. Or a segment or something. Gentleman Savage, where we all speak well and dress well, and we've got cigars, and we've got our coffee and our liquor. But Savage, we've got potty mouths. So we all dress nice, we look upper class, but we're like, oh, look at this disgusting, stupid piece of shit of a person. Ugh, I'm glad he fell off his bike. Dumbass. Bitch ass. The Gentleman Savage, that would be funny. Listening to this doing trigonometry. Oh, yes, I like the podcast too. Shout out to, Cozen? Kinson? Something like that. You know who I'm talking about? He's like one of the great orators, debaters of today. And then the other guy with the glasses. I forget his name, but you know, champions nonetheless. Remind me if you can, MG. We have so much in common.
Me. How could anyone get away with taking 42 people's lives and not be caught? That's the biggest problem with this whole theory.
Also,
In all likelihood, some creep kept his sex trophies under the floor of his wood shop. That's all. But what if? Frankly, I change my opinion every few minutes. I've sat on this box for over a week, unable to decide if I should go to the cops. Just last night, I had a nightmare. A dirty old man killed a woman in front of me. I tried to tell people, but no one would listen. I woke up soaked in sweat, shaking. That was the last straw. I've decided I'm giving it to the cops tomorrow. What happens after?
That was the last straw. God, he ran out of hay. Hi. I'm so sorry, that's the Jewish laugh. I try to suppress that side of me, especially after my back and forth on X. I have to watch myself. I have to suppress that side of me, because you never know, there could be some pro-Palestinian liberal that sprouts out of the ground and attacks my ass. Seriously, champions, you want to know this story? Go on my X account and look up my recent replies and stuff. You would be shocked. Yeah, these just feel a bit more slow than the other kind of horror story videos, guys. So I will move on from these. I'm in the mood for some fails. Alright, let me start. Karen. Fails. 2026. I'm sure that's a thing. What do you like the most, but out of these three alcohols? Vodka, tequila. Oh, tequila. Tequila. Whiskey'd be the second choice. Vodka'd be the third. I'm not much of a vodka fan. Shots are okay. I've had a few in the past, but general drinking of vodka, no, not for me. Respect to the Russians that created it. They drink that shit like coffee. Yeah, tequila definitely always fun. And then I got into whiskey a bit later in life, which is nice. Whiskey sour or whiskey soda. I did have a nice, like an old style cocktail. I called it an old fashioned, a cherry old fashioned. You can have one with like an orange in it, but I like the cherry one. And yeah, it was like, I think it was like whiskey or some kind of liqueur mixed with brandy or whiskey or something like that, with a cherry on top with soda in it as well. I had that for the first time on a cruise ship, visiting my late great godfather. Oh, there you go. Let's check out the Karens. It's almost a year old, but you know, still good. I'd like, subscribe, check out Fail Army and their franchise channels, you know, Fail Army 2.0, This Is Not Happening, and Fail Army International. You ever had the flavored tequila? The ones you put like flavor? Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The, I had tequila. Last time I had tequila, I had a nice, what is like a brand, like Silver or Gold? Or Bits and Pieces, but like something like the Silver, I believe, and then it had like a nice lime flavoring and I think another fruit mixed in with it. Very nice with cigars.
Cheese! Hell, I said cheese! Say cheese! We're gonna take this picture. You can't do like that cheese.
Okay. Are you sure? I got it. Daddy! Oh!
Is this titled right? Hang on.
Cheese! Hell, I said cheese! Say cheese!
Karen's caught on camera. Humanity is doomed 11 months ago, but they're all just starting off as like fails we've seen before. So what's going on?
Cheese! We're gonna take this picture. You can't do like that cheese.
Joker face!
Okay. Are you sure? I got it. Daddy! Oh!
Instead of filming your daddy going, why don't you help him? Probably wouldn't have broke if there was more hands helping out. They always say more hands make lighter work, but I guess not in this case. Oh shit, the mattress.
Hey Mom, what's the difference between a light bulb and a pregnant woman?
What, Jesse?
You can unscrew a light bulb.
Can you give me a piggyback?
Shh, stupid.
I trust my wife.
Ready, set, go.
I hate those birds. They are the homeless of the bird community, the seagulls. Oh, I used to try and steal my food back when I lived on Hamilton Island working there. I think I remember telling you this story, Chams, was Hamilton Island back in 2020, 2021, around in between that time. No, actually. No, 2019. on the verge of 2020 before COVID. So we had just thousands of seagulls or cockatoos or even possums. All kinds of birds or animals that would steal your food if you weren't careful. The brand I had was the 1800 silver tequila. Oh, very nice. Connoisseur of fine liqueurs. MG Maddox.
Are you okay?
Dog ain't messing around.
Joan! Grab it!
If I'm ever going to relax in the backyard for whatever reason, I'm going to have a recliner with a nice corner table with some champagne. Not a hammock. That shit only exists in The Simpsons with Homer Simpson, okay? And that doesn't all that shit in real life. Nope, they break, they snap, they come apart, they fall over. Especially the ones on platforms that you just saw. So no. Never touching a hammock. Oh, and also, champs, before I forget, good news again. My watched hours have gone up another 10 hours, so I'm currently at 2,830. Cha-ching! Getting there every day. Won't be long now.
Grab it! Grab the rope! Grab the rope!
Grab the rope! Let go!
Oh my god.
You got her! Oh no!
Oh yeah! Kool-Aid's here!
Oh!
It's a girl.
2, 1.
And that's when the dad became a paraplegic. Disgusting bitch.
Oh, will you head to my... I need my...
Filming!
Oh god, these dumb tourists again.
Yeah, we have no self-awareness. Let's block this young couple's proposal.
Mom, can you try this really quick?
Salt.
Tell me if it's too salty.
Oh yeah, way too salty.
You are such a brat.
A spoiled brat.
Didn't work.
Oh.
It worked then.
Happy Sunday. Hell.
That's okay.
Those small cycle. Oh, he's down.
Are you okay?
Oh, he's so okay.
Walking on. Really peaceful.
Oh, there goes down, Dad.
Excuse me, this is my home that's used.
Maybe you can explain the process to us. Do you know the process?
Whoa!
Teeth came out. Ugh.
Jesus Christ! Sorry, I'm trying to laugh a bit.
Good old Aussie dad getting scared. Jesus Christ! Fuck! There goes grandma.
Como podemos ver, los gráficos no son nada del otro mundo. Me cago en Dios, gasté un poder.
This thing went wild. Yeah, come on over here, buddy.
Is I'm gonna put this water bottle right on top of the quarter. So I'm gonna put the towel over the water bottle. Like my plan in the end is to show you that I can get the coin from underneath
Shit, bloody
to
matches. I
inside
have
the
to
bottle.
get better.
Magic, 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 magic. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, come take a look. Ah! Dad!
Do you think I don't watch internet?
Ah, let's go, Daddy.
Yes, you did! Mom is gonna be so mad. Oh.
Give Peanut one little piece of ham, one last piece.
Oh, you got a link for me, MG? Swear, let's check it out. Move on from that. Come on, show up. The hell? Don't. Come on, show up.
Have you heard of the Headless Valley?
Oh,
in your comment.
You got some Joe Rogan experience. This is different, MG. Thanks for sending it to me. Mr. Ballin. Now, I've reacted to Mr. Ballin's channel a number of times. In my own time. I know all you champions know Mr. Ballin. Like, subscribe, and check out Mr. Ballin and his amazing, crazy stories. The chilling story of the Headless Valley. I saw the thumbnail to this in the Joe Rogan Clips channel I'm subscribed to, as well as the regular Joe Rogan Experience. But I haven't seen this. So, this is Rogan's neighbor, so a tribute channel to Joe Rogan and Experience. Awesome. Thanks for sending it to me. All right. Very intrigued with this, and we'll get on to Tony and Plush's other links after.
And your comings and goings on the show, the Nahanni Valley.
No.
Check out Rogan's
I got a good
neighbor.
story for you. You want to hear it?
Okay.
Okay. So in Canada, there's this section in the Northwest called the Northwest Territories. Are you familiar with this?
Yes.
Okay. So for those that are not, the Northwest Territories is roughly 4 times the size of Germany. But Germany has something like
Pacifico Penatellas. I'm never buying this cigar again. It is garbage.
Like 87 million people who live there. And in this space in Canada, this rugged space, there's like 45,000 people that live there. So it's 4 times the size of Germany and basically not populated. It is as remote as
population of Dripping Springs. Not even.
Springs. Yeah, dude.
Not even. Dripping Springs probably has more.
Dude. And so within the Northwest Territory, there's this even more remote stretch that's called the Nahanni Valley. And the Nahanni Valley today, it's a protected park. It's a Canadian protected park. But even still, even though it's a park you can go visit, it's nearly impossible to get to. To get there by boat, you have to traverse these rapids. I think it's a very treacherous ride to get there by boat. There's no established roads into the Nahanni Valley. You can hike there. It's brutal to hike there. You can fly there, but it's only through chartered float planes. So it's a difficult place to get to.
No,
but the Nahanni Valley,
go to Hawaii.
in particular, when the story takes place, which is like the early 1900s, because of how isolated it was, it's like one of the parts of Earth that's like untouched by humans. And so the only people that would be in this huge sprawling valley, it was like an oasis of nature, they would see things that are just like so gorgeous, like untouched nature. But in the early 1900s, there was this push from gold prospectors to go out into the Nahanni Valley because they figured, because it's so untouched by humanity, there's bound to be gold to be found in the Nahanni Valley. Now, there were some indigenous tribes like the Naha tribe. They were out there. There's some lore surrounding how they might have abandoned their settlement around the time the story takes place. But there were indigenous tribes that lived out there. But for the most part, it's like this sort of vacant stretch in this already isolated part of the world. And so in 1905, these 3 brothers, these 3 prospectors, the McLeod brothers, Charlie, Willie, and Frank, they're seasoned gold prospectors, they decide they are going to head off into the Nahanni Valley and go try to strike it rich. And it's even harder to get into the valley back then as it is today. It required for them, they actually had to build a boat. They had to bring pieces of a boat, and they would take it up a rapid or down the rapid, and they'd have to disassemble the boat, carry it up like these rock faces to get because there's waterfalls they had to get past, and then bring the boat further and further into this valley. And it's like this, it's just crazy how much work goes into getting out there. But these 3 brothers, they find their way into the valley, and they get to this stretch of this river called the Flat River, which is anything but. It's raging rapids.
The Flat River.
But there was this little embankment against this huge forest and like mountains off in the distance. And they made their camp there. River. And there's no one around. This is pristine wilderness. And they start sluicing for gold. And it's just fucking gold everywhere. It's like the sand is gold. There's gold everywhere. They find so much gold, and they can't believe it. They've struck it completely rich here.
Huge deposit.
And so after a whole day, I think they did 3 days even of just getting all this gold, they pack all their shit back up in their boat that they've assembled, and they begin making their way back out again, which should be easier because now I think a lot of it you're going with the current. I don't even know how they get up there with the rapids going one way, but either way, they begin making their way out, and their boat capsizes, and they lose all their gold. The boat breaks up. They narrowly are able to salvage the pieces, and they come ashore and they build their boat again, and they're like, oh my gosh, we've lost so many supplies. This is horrible. The best we can do here is leave and come back with more supplies because we know there's gold here. This is devastating, but no one's going to be here. We can come back. We can get more gold. So they leave.
Dumb and Dumber.
And once they get back to town, Charlie, one of the brothers, decides, you know what, it's not worth it. That was really sketchy. I don't want to die out on the Flat River.
Oh my God,
Frank and Willie, they're like, we got to go out there. And so fast forward a year, Charlie's still saying, I will not go back out there. But Frank and Willie, they decide to go. And they recruit this other guy. I think his name is Robert Weir.
Today, class, I am
your
Jewish professor.
Go back into the valley
teach you about
to strike it rich. And, Charlie is aware that they're going out there. He's staying back, but he knows they're going out. He knows where they're going because he went there with them. And he expects they're going to be gone for, I think it was going to be a whole year. And you can imagine how much effort goes into getting out there. They were going to live out there, I think, for the summer and just get as much gold as they could and come out. But some amount of time passed, let's call it a year, when Charlie starts to become suspicious because they haven't come out of the valley yet. And this is 1905. There's no way to talk to them. And so another whole year passes. We're 2 years deep into this, and still these guys have not returned from the Nahanni Valley. And so at this point, Charlie is thinking there's an issue here. Something's happened to my brothers. I got to go find them. And so he puts together a group of people to go see what happened to his brothers. And so he makes his way, he starts getting into the valley, and he reaches this stretch of, this is just to give you a mental image of where he's going. To get to that segment of the beach where they had been 2 years prior when Charlie was with them, because that's where he's assuming they're going to be, they had to pass through these canyons. There's 4 canyons that go, I think it's Canyon 4, Canyon 2, 3, 1. They're all just called Canyon 1, 2, 3, 4. But they're staggering. I mean, just visually, these are just ominous places. There are these stretches, like Canyon 2 is this 10-mile stretch of very deep water. I don't know how deep. I want to say it's at least 100 feet deep, where the water goes all the way up to the cliff face. It's just sheer cliff face on either side. So it's like the scar in the earth where it's hundreds of feet tall cliffs on.
Currently, it's 1 in the afternoon. I think my parents have gone on their appointment now, so I've got the house to myself. Yay! Send me all the links, champs.
Either side that are sheer, and it's just, call it 100 feet at least of water down. There's nowhere to stop. Once you're in this canyon, you must go to the end of the canyon. There's nowhere to go.
Oh, fuck.
And the Naha tribe, who the tribe that had lived there for a while, they had always talked about, they called them the Wahila. They said there were these creatures, these white, tall creatures that would roam the forest in the Nahanni Valley, and they would make these screeching sounds, and they were, they would attack people. It's just folklore, right? But they said that in these canyons, there were all these caves, these pockets of caves high up on these canyons that you can't really get to. That they believed the Wahila would live inside of. So imagine you're going down this like misty 10-mile stretch in Second Canyon.
Funny that he mentions the cave system and stuff, because, I've seen other instances on a regular experience how they've discovered or they know of all these different, like, ancient cave societies. People, like, I think parts in Turkey and other parts of the Middle East and elsewhere, they had these cave, and China, definitely China. They found these ginormous underground cave-like shelters that I think were like shelters for like big impacts of that history back in the day, but like huge underground civilizations, like houses and giant buildings and rooms and all kinds of things. What is the part of history we forget about? What has been erased deliberately for the racism of white colonization of the past? I reckon there's a whole new chunk of history, champions, well before the industrial age of the early 19th century, well before the 18th century, like a huge part of history of very superior, sophisticated people that, for whatever reason, science, history deliberately forgot about. That old Tartarian stuff.
Canyon, and you're looking up on either side, and there literally are caves that no human has ever stepped foot in. You can't even get to these fucking caves. And because of the way the wind cuts through the canyon, it makes this echoey, like, screeching noise that today you can still hear as you go through these canyons. And so they're going through Second Canyon, this stretch here, and the stretch of Flat River where he had been the year prior or 2 years prior with his brothers was at the end of Second Canyon, where the first little, call it a beachhead, exists. And so he, Charlie, and his search party, they exit this creepy Second Canyon, and they see there's a campsite set up on the beach. And it's not really a beach. It's like, 4 feet of sand, and then it's a little bit of hinterland, and then it's just, forest. But he sees there's a tent. And so they beach the boat, and they're looking around, and they find there's 2 bodies. It's a man, 2 men. They're badly decomposed, but they're missing their heads. So 2 headless men that are badly decomposed, one of which is reaching for his rifle, and he's half in the tent, half out of the tent, and he's reaching for his rifle, which is propped up against a tree, and the other is just lying behind the tent, and he's missing his head. The heads were never found. And they find identification, and it turns out those are his two brothers. And they find etched into the tree that the gun was propped on. It just was written, etched into the wood. We have found a fine prospect, which could mean any number of things. Maybe it means they found gold, whoever. But that was written on the tree. And then a little ways down from their camp, going along the same direction they'd come in, they found a skeleton, which they could never identify as being anyone, but they believe it belonged to Robert Weir. So they're all dead. And the authorities, when this was reported, they weren't really shocked. They're like, it's the Nahanni Valley. It's a dangerous place. They obviously died of starvation, and animal predation caused, their heads to be ripped off. Tough luck. Charlie didn't believe that. He always believed that something had happened to his brothers, but he had no way to prove it. So that's 1905.
Is that true, though? Animals go for a carcass's head, if it's a human or an animal or whatever? I guess depending on the animal, I guess.
Fast forward to 1913, people sort of know about this story, that this is when they dubbed it the Headless Valley, because these men were found without their heads. Little did they know that story would carry quite a bit of weight, because 10 years or a little bit less than 10 years later, Martin Jorgensen, who's another gold prospector, he heads out into the Nahanni Valley. He's heard the stories. He's heard about the McLeod brothers. He knows that there's, lore of the Wahila and that there's something weird happening in this valley and it's dangerous. But he goes out there anyways, and he tells his business partners, who are these rich guys who didn't want to actually go get the gold. They just funded his expedition. He's like, I'm going to go out there and I'll make us a bunch of money. I'll find a bunch of gold. I'll stay out there for the whole summer. And then we'll rendezvous and we'll split the earnings or whatever. So out he goes, and he builds himself a cabin not far from where the McLeod brothers had stayed, and then the second expedition as well. And he is out there for the summer, but then he misses the rendezvous point. He was supposed to come out of the valley and meet his partners at the end of the summer. He doesn't. Eventually, a search party is brought out to find what happened to him, and they find his cabin had burned to the ground. They find Martin Jorgensen is within the remains of this burned down cabin, missing his head.
Jesus.
And I don't know how they did this in 1913, but apparently the fire began on the roof. And so they don't understand how he could have not realized there was a problem and exited his cabin. I mean, it's simplifying it, but it's an odd thing that fire starts here and you still burn to the ground. And also, where's your head? So that's Martin Jorgensen. So now people, they aren't really connecting the McLeod brothers and Martin Jorgensen. It was called the Headless Valley by the time Martin Jorgensen gets into the valley. He's now found headless, and now it's like there's a little more rumor mill going on. Over the coming next 10 years,
crazy animals
there was several other expeditions, to include this guy Riley O'Brien, who goes out there, prospector. He goes out to check his traps, doesn't come back. His partner who's with him, he walks over and finds him, and he's just sitting inexplicably by a campfire that's not on. It's not even, it was cold. It was cold enough to freeze to death out there, but it was not blindingly cold. And he's sitting in front of this fire pit. It's only been like an hour or two since he stepped away, and he's holding a match or a cigarette in his hand, and he's just like, he's frozen. He's frozen to death. And there's no sign of what happened to him. He's just sitting by the fire, and he's dead. He has his head, but he's frozen to death. The guy his partner who fled the valley would later say he looked flash frozen. So that happens. There were at least 2 other prospectors who also had their cabins burned down. One of them was nearly decapitated when he was found, but he still had his head, but signs of something being done to his spine was present. And then there was another 2 guys who their cabins burned down, but their bodies were intact. So there's all these people that die
in
similarly bizarre ways. And then in, I think it was 1926, the first really weird thing happens. This is all weird, but the really weird thing happens.
It's going to get weirder?
It gets weirder. There was this hunting party that went out.
Bad enough, a bunch of people losing their heads in this valley. And they figured, nah, it's more sinister shit, whatever it is. To top that off, one of those people finds one of their guys just frozen at a campfire, holding a cigarette. Just frozen dead. What, did he get attacked by Mr. Freeze from Batman? I mean, how does that happen? Let's find out.
To the Nahanni Valley. And by this point, it's become almost like because there's this lore surrounding how dangerous this place is, because people are fearful of the Nahanni Valley, it's now bringing a new crowd of people into the valley. It's bringing like hunting parties that kind of are like, I want to go fucking see what's out in this valley. And so they were going through Second Canyon, and they were heading to Flat River, and they were going to these places where all these kind of famous deaths have occurred to go hunting, but just sort of to be in this valley. And so this hunting party is out there.
Well.
And it's a big group. I think there was at least a dozen people out there, and they're camping out on the banks of the Flat River, not really in the same spot where the McLeod brothers had been, but not too far away. And they're out drinking late, having a good old time. They all go to bed, and the next morning, May Lafferty is her name. May Lafferty. She's missing. She's I think she was the only woman on this expedition. She's gone. And
that can't be good.
They look for her. There's no sign of what happened to her. She's just gone. And so they did have some sort of a search occur over the next several days, but they ultimately said, we don't know what happened to her. And they left. They left the valley. And so they tell authorities. Authorities, I think they went out to look for her. They could never find her. No sign of what happened to her. And so around the time that they're looking for May Lafferty, there was this guy who is named Charlie, different from Charlie McLeod, just a sort of loner guy who just by happenstance had been camping in the Nahanni Valley at the same time as that hunting party. He was by himself, sort of just this rugged outdoorsman who it's not even clear why he was out there, but he was just out there minding his own business. He was aware of the hunting party, and he said that he watched them have their party that night, and he had stayed up late but eventually gone to sleep. And he ultimately reports this to the police because there's all this talk of where's May Lafferty, and this guy Charlie realizes he may have seen her. So he goes to the police and he tells them, hey, I was out there. They don't know I was out there. I was out there the same time, and I went to bed late at night after they were already asleep, and I woke up to the sound of rocks, like little rocks falling into the water. And he's relatively close to the water, but he's not so close that he would hear the sound of the current. He's far enough that a stone throw into the water, you'd hear the sploosh sound. And so he wakes up and he crawls out of his tent, and it's pretty well illuminated, and he's in the trees, and he can see the water, the flat river, and he can't tell what the rocks are coming from. It just sounds like rocks falling from a distance into the water. And so he just is curious, and he gets up and he walks down to the water line, and he starts hearing them more and more, and he looks up, and there's a part of the coastline, if you will, the beach line that sort of was up on a rise to his left, like there was a hill that was right next to him. That's dramatic, just a slight rise. And there was a little bit of a cliff that maybe like 6 feet, 8 feet of a cliff that overlooked the river right there. And he sees there's this woman who's crawling on all fours, and she's scrambling up this little rise of the beach. And it's her kicking of the dirt that's like sprinkling rocks into the water. And he's looking at her, and she gets to the top, and she stops, and she turns around and looks at him, and he described her as looking possessed. He was like, there was something wrong with her. She just stared at me, and he was so frightened, he just froze and then hid. And he watched this woman scamper off into wherever she went, over the rise away from the camp.
Feral?
So she's gone, and he didn't know what to make of it. He's like, that's so weird. He hears about this missing.
That's a thing that has happened to people when they get lost in the wilderness. They become feral, animalistic. And it could have happened to her or something else. Something happened.
Woman, he tells police, and he sees a picture of her, and he's like, I'm nearly positive that was her. And so she's never found. And so May Lafferty's gone. Fast forward another 20 years, so there's no idea. In those 20 years, more prospectors are found dead as well.
Jeez.
One of the last hunting parties.
Why don't they firebomb that valley? Whatever's been killing all these people throughout, nearly a century? Early 1904, was it? 10 years after that, 20 years, 50, whatever years after that. God. I should level that bloody valley and then see what's actually been the cause. They're crazy out there. You watch all those scary videos about the cryptids and SCPs and all these supposed creatures of lore and ghost stories and all this stuff. Could you imagine if any of that was actually real? They're like isolated monsters hiding in caves and valleys and whatever else just haven't been discovered yet, or if anyone discovered them, they'd had their heads cut off and then the story would just die from that. Makes you think. You are next, Tonio, yes.
Went out into the Nahanni Valley, and actually Prospector goes out and he goes missing. His name is John Patterson. This is like in the 1939, 1940 range. And a hunting party goes out to look for him, and they can't find him. And on the last night they were there, one of the men who was part of this search party for John Patterson, they're near the Flat River, he described an indigenous man walked out of the tree line, just sort of inexplicably walks over to him, and he comes up to the group who are sort of on the beach line there. And he just says to this guy, he's like, hey, and they're startled to see him to begin with, like, where the fuck did you come from? And he's like, be careful, the Wahila are out tonight. And the guy just like wanders. This is, according to legend, this is what was said to him. And the guy wanders back off into the trees. But the leader of that expedition, they were planning to stay, I want to say 2 additional days to keep looking for John Patterson. But that night, following that comment made by that guy, the indigenous guy, all night, they reported these ungodly screams and screeches coming from that canyon, second canyon, where those caves up in the cliffs were, all around.
Crazy stuff. Well, thank you very much, MG, for that. What a story. And I'll tell you, the very last bit where he said, like, the indigenous guy came out and said those Wahilis, whatever they're called, are out tonight, and then, like, that night they're hearing all these screams and stuff around their camp or enclosure or whatever it is. The scream stuff, that somewhat reminds me of the Joe Rogan clip or episode about the Aztec death whistle. You guys heard of that? The Aztecs created this whistle that looked like a skull or something. And every time, and the way they made it, when you blew into it, it sounded like somebody screaming in horrible pain. Or like some kind of phantom, like I'm sure you champs, you've heard of it. You've heard those death whistles. It reminds me of that, or a version of it. Mystery of Skinwalker Ranch. We've all heard that, haven't we? All right, let's check out Tonio's link. Champion Tonio. You've heard of it. You've heard those death whistles. It reminds me of what's up, Logging Dog? Eggplants. So many eggplants. I was dealing with a few eggplants last night on
Mystery of Skinwalker
Ranch. We've all heard that, haven't we? All right, let's check out Tonio's link. Champion Tonio. You've heard of it. You've heard those death whistles. It reminds me of what's up, Logging Dog? Eggplants. So many eggplants. I was dealing with a few eggplants last night on
Mystery of Skinwalker Ranch.
We've all heard that, haven't we? All right, let's check out Tonio's link.
What's happening, guys? It's N60 Sean. So Markiplier is N.
Okay, we've heard of it. You've heard those death whistles. It reminds me, what's up, Logging Dog? Dog, yeah. Loop, 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 loop. Here we go, loop-de-loop. Oh, here we go, loop-de-lie. Markiplier versus Darkiplier. The good versus the bad version of himself. N60 Sean. Alright, like, subscribe, check it out. Any of those whistles, I think the Wahali beast kind of sounds like that according to legend. It wouldn't surprise me if those Wahali had their version of that whistle or something similar. Those were used as warfare tactics to scare the hell out of their enemy and sleep deprive them. They would blow those whistles all night. They'd get no sleep. They'd be scared as hell, and then they'd just pick them off because they'd be so out of it from exhaustion. Crazy stuff. Yep, you're after Tonio? No worries, we'll get on to this. Wrestling game.
To the villain's compound in our series.
Oh my god! It's a nice proper country British man. He might be actually related to might be actually related to the great Michael Caine, the actor. You know.
He had stuff to deal with, like this guy, who is a million miles of no. Markiplier, who is on the lookout, on the search for a top secret briefcase, which reveals the weaknesses to the main leader of the villains, Cola Demon, found his way to the enemy compound on the hunt for Darkiplier, who is in possession of that briefcase. Markiplier's evil alter ego, Darkiplier, stealing the briefcase. Markiplier made it to the compound to hunt down Darkiplier, battled all these zombie things, and then came face to face with Darkiplier with that briefcase. The super secret briefcase, the briefcase with all secrets are hidden, folks. At the top of a ladder, and Darkiplier challenging Markiplier for a ladder match. Winner gets to keep the briefcase. Very simple. Is Darkiplier flies over the top rope and smashes Mark in the face with a phenomenal forearm. One of the Mark's signature moves. And a Darkiplier, full of evil, full of malice, attacking Markiplier. And Markiplier, you see him smash his head on them stairs then. That is not a good start for Markiplier, who's already had to battle essentially a zombie horde to get to this point. N60 Sean sending Markiplier to recover this briefcase after Darkiplier betrayed Mark in our last Faction Wars match. Markiplier with a shoulder to the midsection of Darkiplier and immediately climbing up that ladder. Markiplier, who's been through a lot already, isn't going to want to hang around in this arena of horrors here. And oh wait, hang on, and a springboard dropkick knocking the ladder from underneath Mark, who's still got a hold of the briefcase. But Markiplier catches him and plants him with a powerbomb. Darkiplier going to the outside in the villain's compound arena. People in this crowd are obviously horrible people. That little boy's probably an evil little boy. Oh wait, speaking of evil, Darkiplier just set up a ladder bridge, which is not good news. And Markiplier, who's gone up top, managed to swat away Darkiplier and hits a flying corkscrew at that evil little boy as Darkiplier gets knocked out with that. And I'll tell you what, that ladder is going to look dangerous there, and it's Darkiplier who's little setup there is coming back to hold him as he gets snake-eyed onto his own ladder bridge that he set up. And wait, hang on, in the N60 arena, there's an argument here with him.
Could hear sirens in the distance. Well, I'm guessing one of them protesters got pepper sprayed in the face.
N60 Sean and H2O Delirious. H2O Delirious disagreeing with N60 Sean's decision to send Markiplier to the compound without backup, and H2O Delirious really not happy with that, and Markiplier just had a louder dumped on his head. N60 Sean sent Markiplier to get revenge on Darkiplier. I think H2O Delirious will have a stupid decision. He should have sent him with backup, but we're not going to send him with H2O Delirious. I don't want to send H2O Delirious to the villain's compound because H2O Delirious is our N60 champion. We can't risk having the villains get a hold of our champion. And Markiplier, I trust Mark. I feel Mark can get the job done. He's just caught Darkiplier with the steel steps here. And now Markiplier going to town with a big old solid set of steel steps on Darkiplier.
It's so funny in these games. If this was real life and they fought like they did in these games, they'd all both be going to hospital. Beating the shit out of each other with chairs and the stairs and kendo sticks and... I mean, I don't know if they do that nowadays. It's probably too PC. But I remember the glory days of wrestling when everything sharp was involved. Especially the ECW days.
But we've got to climb the ladder, retrieve the briefcase to win this match. The briefcase which contains the secrets and the weaknesses of the Cola Demon, the leader of the villain.
Must be neighbours. I keep thinking Mum and Dad are home yet, but they're not. They're still out. Can I not have one stream where it's just peace and quiet and nothing else?
the hero's champion, but not much of a hero really. As Markiplier is setting up that ladder. Come on, hurry up, Mark. Mark, they're scuttling up the ladder. He's got his hands on the briefcase, the secret briefcase, which looks a little bit like the Money in the Bank briefcase, but I assure you is the secret briefcase. And here comes Darkiplier, who's head off Mark of the Plasma, and the Heart of Darkness from the top of the ladder, driving the knees into the jaws of Markiplier, one of Darkiplier's signature maneuvers, and that's going to knock the teeth down the throat. Well, hang on, H3 Delirious. H3 Delirious to Vanos. It looks like the Delirious is saying to Vanos that Markiplier is going to need our help. He thinks it's stupid that we've sent him there alone. The N60 champ can't go. Is Vanos keen to go? And Vanos is like, sure, I'm crazy enough to go to a villain's lair. So it looks like Vanos is going to be coming to the aid of Markiplier. And Vanos, I'll tell you, he's been a helpful little chap in the past few videos. He came to the aid of Delirious and N60 Sean, along with Uganda Knuckles, in that 4-on-4 impromptu 8-man tag. Is he going to be able to come to the aid of Markiplier, who's, look at this, some sort of, look at the structure, this devilish crown of ladders that Darkiplier is constructed here, which is only going to be an arena of pain for Markiplier, who's been German suplexed through one ladder, and now it looks like to be German suplex through a second. And I mean, if there's any ladders still left intact in this match, then it looks like Darkiplier could be the favourite to climb up and retrieve that briefcase. As Markiplier looks all in trouble here, and it looks like all hope is slipping away from Markiplier as he gets put through a third ladder.
Point. He's cracked his head
hang on,
on
here's
ladders
Vanos.
3 times
Vanos
over.
is getting in a car, and it looks like Vanos is going to be speeding to the rescue here. But can Vanos make it in time? Is Darkiplier going to be victorious? Is he going to have gotten the briefcase by the time that Vanos gets there? Well, Vanos has put his foot down, to be fair. I mean, Markiplier drove quite, like, you know, was obeying the laws of the road. Vanos just ran a red light. I think Vanos is prioritising speed over the laws of the road here. But wait, Markiplier with a reversal. Manages to reverse, and now he's about to deliver it. A German suplex of his own, sending Darkiplier through that 4th ladder. And now he's got a steel chair in hand. Can Markiplier, maybe Markiplier can get up there, get the briefcase in. Vanos is going to be outside waiting for him and can make a quick getaway. Because Markiplier in the driving seat with those steel chair shots at the moment. And you got to believe that Mark's got to be the favourite to get the briefcase in.
Very good.
And Vanos speeding his way through the traffic, just causing chaos as well, Vanos. Vanos, curtail this chaos, mate. Keep this chaos bottled up and unleash it when you get to the villain's compound. Don't do anything stupid, Vanos. Markiplier setting up that ladder, but Darkiplier back to his feet. And speaking of stupid, and Markiplier falling from the top of the ladder 20 feet through the ladder bridge. And now Darkiplier, if that wasn't enough, he's just flown off the top of the ladder with a vaulting body press to Markiplier and a double drop kick, and that's got to be Mark out. And oh, Vanos, mate, what are you doing?
Oh, very good plush. Send him my way.
That isn't the villain's compound. That is.
Alright, we'll move on from this one. N60 Sean, like, subscribe, check out Nintendo 60 Sean. Or N60 Sean. Shane losing his mind on Smush Games, Part 2. Oh, they all lose their mind on Smush Games. Especially on the Angelina Cinema. Like, subscribe, and check out that channel. I did that nice reaction of Trevor losing his mind at the games. That reaction yesterday. Check it out if you haven't seen it. And check out Angelina Cinema, because that's the same channel I reacted to Trevor yesterday. So, shout out to her. Alright, because I'm up to Plush's link now. Let's get to that. Let's get to it. Trevor yesterday. So, shout out to her. Alright, because I'm up to Plush's link now. Let's get to that. Let's get to it. Trevor. Rupert Grint to reprise Ron Weasley role. Weasley role after 15 years. Oh, cool. Okay. Alright, because I'm up to Plush's link now. Let's get to that. Just so weird. I didn't know whatever happened to Rupert Grint, the actor, after the Harry Potter movies. I never seen him in anything else since then. I'm sure he's been in something, just wasn't advertised to me or just passed me by. But apparently he is, in fact, reprising the Ronald Weasley role 15 years later. I guess there's a new adaptation of the Harry Potter movie coming out. I know there was a series with the Black Snape character. Everybody went crazy with that. Oh my god, how can Professor Snape be black? Because it's a spin-off HBO series. It's not the original, okay? Who cares? Alright, anyway, this is Plush's link. Blob Animations. Like, subscribe, check it out. We've reacted to this before. Another video of theirs, SCP-682 versus 049. Let the games begin. Blob. Come in. Containment cell.
Hello.
The Plague Doctor 1, yes, I know.
Yet another victim of the disease.
That monster has a hand for a tongue.
SCP-682 just broke out at Gate B. I want all...
That monster can finger its own mouth. Yuck.
Available helicopters and MTF units at Gate B now. I repeat.
Stop resisting. I'm here to kill you.
Why are they always bald? They're kind of a nice thing, like myself. Yeah, that's right, drown, you rat bastard. Then turn that shark into a megalodon. He's just chilling. Alright, 6821. Acid breath. A million-year-old skull found in China. Is it Adam's skull? Adam, the son of man, the first male created by God in the Garden of Eden? Is it that skull? What else is a million years old? I know Asians can live a long time, but a million years is pushing it. You guys ever remember that story of like I think it was Chinese or Japanese, he's definitely Asian, that herbalist? It's like the old-fashioned photo of this herbalist holding like one of his herbs. He's basically a doctor before a doctor was the name. And herbalist or healer or whatever will supposedly live to 250 years old based on his secret knowledge of herbs and health and whatever. Supposedly. I mean, it's supposedly documented in passport and birth certificates and other things of the Chinese government, but he lived to be like nearly 200 years old or something. I think the oldest known person was 122, that French lady, Jean Clement. And then there was this Cambodian guy or Malaysian guy, one of those other Asian areas, where he supposedly documentably lived to 140 years old. Crazy. All right, Tonio, you're next. Crazy. All right, Tonio, you're next. All right. ULSD Animator 16th. ULSD, is that a school or a college or something? Either way, Animator Champion, love the animations. SCP-087-B versus Titan Smiler. Fight!
Flawless victory!
Weird loudspeaker voice in the distance. I think there's some event a few blocks down that direction somewhere. Actually, there's a park not too far from where I live, so I think they do stuff there every now and then. Other people around the neighborhood. Good for them. Just a random speaker lady voice. Oh, Wu-Tang in this bitch. Smile, bitch. Turn into Mike Tyson's Punch Out or whatever the game. Definitely dead now. Stupid ass 8087087. Ain't got nothing on Titan Smiler. Trump's new press secretary destroys the media lie. They weren't ready. Daily dose of senator. Just a little bit.
You know, we have a man here that I don't know, but he's defending me.
Okay, so it's a reaction. Political reactor. I think I have actually seen him before. I don't know if he's a black conservative, but I watch black conservatives' reactions to this from time to time, you know. So here we go. Daily Dose of Sanity. Like, subscribe, check out this champion of American politics. I'm also subscribed back to the Cartier family. I missed watching their political insight. Like, subscribe, check out the Cartier family. Might even check out their channel after this briefly. Only going to watch like a minute or two and then we'll get on to other stuff.
All the time on CNN, and he defends me really well, but he can't go too far because if he goes too far, he'll get fired. I said, you're amazing. You can take it right to the edge, and he really does a good job. He's not allowed to go any further. He would be off, you know, if he really went totally crazy, which he'd like to do. But I think he's terrific. Scott Jennings. Where's Scott?
Yeah,
Where are you,
Scott Jennings. But I don't know who that is, but champion.
Come here, Scott. This guy, really, I've watched him for years. I don't know him, but he likes Trump. Come here, Scott. He likes me, and that's the main thing. Oh, CNN, this is the end of Scott. No, who cares? Don't worry, we'll take care of you, Scott. Scott Jennings, really great.
Thank you. Michigan. We were flying in here today, and I said, look at these farms. I got to get a farm in Michigan, because when you own as many libs as I do, you got to put a place to put them all. Thank you all very much.
Why can't you just acknowledge that what Donald Trump said this morning was abhorrent and that no president should ever threaten annihilating a civilization? Why can't you just acknowledge that?
Look, he's talking to them in the way he thinks he needs to talk to them.
Why can't you acknowledge that?
Because
that is something that no
because I don't
president
take
of the United
orders
States
from
should
you,
say.
number one, and number
I didn't
two,
say,
I give him
I'm
the
asking you a
space to negotiate
question.
with the Iranians the best way he knows how.
All right,
well, let me just ask one final. Let me ask a final question, Scott, for the record.
I love this show specifically. Not her specifically, because I'm sick and tired of her. She always has that smirk. You know what I'm talking about? I've said I don't like a few people that have that smirk. You know. I'm sure she's a nice woman in real life, but just, you know, things I've seen of her that. Let's find out. If she smirks.
Do you think it's acceptable for the president to threaten to annihilate a civilization?
I think it's acceptable for the commander-in-chief
Politics gives me
to
the
deal with these
craziest
people
faces.
in the best way that he can.
Is that a yes
to
or is
get
it a no?
result.
Is that a yes or is it a no?
So that's a
Is that a
yes.
yes
I'm
or
not
a
going to second
no?
guess him. I'm not going to second guess
So
him.
it's a yes.
He put out a statement.
Is
We
it
now
a
have a
yes?
ceasefire.
Okay.
Those are the two things that I'm...
I just wanted to ask for the record.
Is it a
Yes,
maybe?
a yes on your part. We'll leave it there.
The United States. You can't violate national sovereignty of a...
Ah, Cornel West. I know of him. He's a interesting intellectual. I don't necessarily think he's wrong. I think, he has very interesting insight to a lot of things. Maybe it's his afro. I don't know.
country.
Why?
Why?
We do it all the time.
I know, because America violates international law.
Who's going to stop us?
Decades, you would think morality ought to play some role.
You think it's immoral to stop Iran from getting a nuclear weapon?
I think that any condition...
Who's the moral actor here, Iran or the United States?
In terms of ensuring that we don't have nuclear bombs anywhere?
That's the question.
No, in terms of ensuing these butchers don't have nuclear bombs that they have fully said they will use on Israel.
Well, we got a larger discussion. We've got United States, Israel.
There's no equivocation.
What they've done.
I know a white man, God doesn't bend down to my wisdom. Oh, how dare he?
In Gaza gives neither one of them moral authority. That's a genocide, it's ethnic cleansing. Israel has no moral authority. United States has no moral authority.
Disagree.
You think that some... No, we just have deep disagreements on that. But I'd like to hear your Christian formulation.
So your alternative is to allow them to develop and deploy a nuclear weapon?
My brother?
Hold on a second.
Where does the love? Where's the love for you, for Iranians, and for Palestinians and others?
We don't live in a theocracy, but they do. And their theology
I don't defend theocracy.
Their theology is to get a nuclear weapon, destroy Israel, and destroy the great Satan, which is the United States. Our government is based on one thing, national defense. And what's in the best interest of our national defense is for these fanatics not to have a nuclear weapon where they can wipe us off the map. It has nothing to do with Christian or whatever. It has everything to do with national defense.
And you don't think there's fanatics?
Well, I opened up my social media algorithm this morning, Maria, to find that the principal spokesperson for the Democratic Party, Hassan Piker, was leading a rally last night. Reading a rally last night to celebrate the assassination of...
When I found this out a little while ago from watching this and many other things. When they do that, she probably did do the smirk. I know she's definitely doing it. I hate that. Come on, Scott, you know that's not true. Whenever they say that, they're embarrassed because they know it's true and they can't admit it to themselves. Because otherwise, who the hell would vote for them in the coming election?
Charlie Kirk.
That's
so I love the recitation of the talking points. All of the energy in your party is behind a bunch of violent socialists who have taken over the messaging operation of the Democratic Party. And look, midterms are historically good for the party out of power. I wonder if Democrats are squandering their opportunity because they've outsourced all of their energy and messaging to people who want to fundamentally rip out the United States of America root and branch.
That message reeks of desperation on behalf of Republicans.
Pick it up, take a look at it. Are you defending
the midterm elections are just completely not going to be in their favor.
Defend it.
Because you look at the generic ballot, Democrats are ahead. You look at where Americans think which party is going to handle the economy better, Democrats are winning.
I have only basic level knowledge of politics, maybe a little bit more than the average person because my late goduncle was in politics. He was an associate staffer, one of the main staffers to help the local and federal government in the past. He met the prime ministers in his day, and all different other things too. So these people are insufferable, but the shock value is entertaining.
On that. And Scott, I appreciate that you're trying to smear every single Democrat with some of the craziness that you're talking about.
They're smearing themselves by keeping these violent thugs around.
It's just not true, and the American people aren't buying it.
They're smearing themselves, Maria, by keeping people like this around.
mark my words, Hassan Paikav is micro-penis. I swear to God, his day is coming. He might be all happy-go-lucky now that the left is with him right now. But when they're not, they're going to cast him out. I can see these patterns ahead of time, champions. I've been around long enough to know where things like this can lead.
Sucks for you guys, because Trump has put you in a very difficult position, because as my colleagues have said here, right, if Joe Biden or any other Democrat would have said this, you'd be like, that's ridiculous.
I don't know you very well, but I can assure you that the condition of Donald Trump being the president versus Joe Biden in no way, shape, or form sucks for me or Jim.
I think it's quite difficult to defend somebody who puts you in a position of saying we should put somebody else besides Americans first, especially when he's just given billions of dollars to bail out Argentina.
I think first of all, it was a currency swap, which we made a profit on. Number two, it's quite easy for me to be perfectly comfortable with the President of the United States, who's presiding over a broad coalition that does have disparate views. The previous administration.
This Daily Dose of Sanity, like, subscribe, check him out. He must be having a blast watching these stupid liberal half-breds, as I like to call them, ignorant white fools and no class. He must be having a field day watching these idiots crumble from getting owned by this guy, the secretary. Scott, what is it? What's his name in the description? Oh, whatever his name was. It doesn't seem to say.
Administration, you couldn't sit here and tell me who the hell was in charge. I know who's in charge.
You're right,
of this
and I'm not going to defend it. I'm not sitting here to defend that. So I don't have Trump derangement syndrome. So all I'm saying is if you had somebody else saying the exact same thing, would you make the same argument? Can you say that honestly? And can you be intellectually honest about that?
Trump is in a difficult political position because his base is diversified here. Some hardliners, some moderates, and some people who want it more wide open. But they're all part of his coalition. He's trying to find a balance, but he's trying to do what's best for the United States. He clearly thinks there is some role for the H-1B program, but he has throttled it somewhat with this application fee. He's clearly listening.
There are a lot of things that conservatives are pushing for today that would have been considered completely normal in America decades ago, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Daily Dose of Sanity. Like, subscribe, check him out. Champion of American politics. Alright, let's get back to the links.
Decades ago, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Daily Dose of Sanity. Like, subscribe, check him out. I've been photoshopped. Champion of American politics. Look, I got a filter. It's just the sun. Alright, let's get back to the links. Extreme heat warning in Las Vegas, and Angeles, California. And heat warning in Las Vegas. Yeah.
Decades ago, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Daily Dose of Sanity. Like, subscribe, check him out. I've been photoshopped. Champion of American politics. Look, I got a filter. It's just the sun. Alright, let's get back to the links. I know. Extreme heat warning in Las Vegas, California. Why do I always click Angeles, California? Already? Rude, right? And heat warning in Las Vegas. Yeah.
Decades ago, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Daily Dose of Sanity. Like, subscribe, check him out. I've been photoshopped. Champion of American politics. Look, I got a filter. It's just the sun. Let's get back to the links. Okay, here we go. This will be very extreme heat. We have got from Tonio, thank you, police camera. No, sorry, Inspector Ray. Police camera videos, you know, like the compilations of the crazy stuff that's caught on camera and during a police encounter with the criminals. When cops face cop... Jesus, okay. When cops face cop killers. It's gotta suck so much. The reality of being a police officer, man or woman. You go out to a call and it ends up something like this, and then one of your cop friends or your partners get shot dead. In that heat of a moment, you can't even react to it. You have to just kill this criminal or apprehend him and then worry about the misery afterwards. Oh, God, you gotta... Wish I had another drink. I want to cheers the bloody police right now. Well, here's to any police officer out there keeping society going. They should damn sure have way more power to take half these crazies off the street instead of allowing them getting arrested and bailed all over again. Gotta be better penalties for these idiots. Anyway, let's watch. Jesus, it started off quick. Inspector Ray when cops face cop killers. Okay, 2 years ago. Don't think I've seen this one, even though it's old, so thank you, Tonio. And I hope these are the videos that they blur the bad stuff out. I hope.
They're coming, they're shooting!
The other two officers.
Shots fired! 4 cars, send everyone!
These were moments when cops ran from cops killers. Let's start with the most tragic.
They're coming,
they're shooting! The most tragic? You can't lead up to it?
I think I've been shot, got blood on my face.
On December 12th, 2022, Constable Kirk and his 3 colleagues, Rachel, Matthew, and Kelly,
like I said, the heat of a moment, and like the cop goes to his car to call for backup, and he looks in the mirror and he's been like shot in the cheek. That's when you get shot. That's what shot in the face is. It's like it goes in the face, but then the bullet comes out. It doesn't actually no one gets shot in the head or the brain or whatever. Still, ain't good.
Ellie responded to a missing persons report at a remote property in Williambilla. Unbeknownst to them, they were venturing into a deadly territory.
Jesus. Alright, do they have body armor on?
Keely, Rachel,
Assuming they do. Bulletproof vest?
She's our newest first year.
Within minutes of entering the property, bullets started flying as 2 of Kirk's colleagues were ambushed and shot by 3 Christian extremists. Constable Kirk managed to flee to a nearby tree and called his other colleague.
Hello.
Hey buddy, what's the we got?
He's shot Rachel, I believe. I think she's dead.
Hell, mate. Hang in there. What about the other 2? You got eyes on Keely and Matt?
Matt's not moving. Rachel's not moving now. And Keely I haven't seen.
Where, are you all pushing behind a tree?
Yes, but he's walking over. There's 2 of them.
Walking over towards you?
Yeah. What do you want me to do? He's coming over. Should I run?
Wait, is this Australian?
Yeah, maybe.
Do they know where you are?
This is an Australian body camera police video, isn't it? God, that makes it twice as worse. My own bloody country, how crazy people are. I know it's everywhere, but funny, I always often hear the crazies they're like elsewhere in the world, and then when you hear them in your own country, god damn, it's more surreal. All right.
Yes, they do.
Hey, can you obviously scramble from tree to tree to try and retreat out of there?
I'll try.
To try and do that?
I can try.
After spending some time hiding behind a tree, Kirk made the decision to flee the property.
Oh, I've got a hairline on my forehead. I look like I've got a toupee on. A wig. But it's my real hair. It's got an overly large forehead.
They're coming, they're shooting!
The other 2 officers.
Yeah, this is an Australian channel.
You good?
Kirk was shot 9 times during his escape, with 1 bullet hitting his hip. He reached his police vehicle, which had also been struck in the windshield and the door, before driving away.
Yeah, well, there's 2 of them. I think I've been shot. I don't know where. Fuck. They've got multiple shots on the window of the car, but I had to drive away a bit. Lost the shoe. I've got blood on my face. I don't know where I've been shot.
The 3 shooters, Nathaniel, Gareth, and Stacy Train, were later identified as conspiracy theorists with a deep hatred for the police. Constables Matthew Arnold and Rachel McCrow were tragically killed in the...
One of these bloody fuckwits. You know, those people with the conspiracy eyebrows. Oh, you know what's actually happening in society, right? Everything's corrupt. The police, they're evil. We have to kill them.
Incident, while Constable Keely Bro took cover in nearby grass and narrowly avoided detection. The siege lasted several hours and ended when a special emergency response team arrived and neutralized the 3 attackers. The next officer was nearly killed when he was ambushed by the cop killer, who was wielding a gun. On March 8th, 2024, Hamilton Township police officers responded to a residence in response to a 911 call concerning a domestic dispute. Upon arrival, they were greeted by a woman who claimed that a resident inside was acting hostile and was armed. When the officers entered, they didn't anticipate what was waiting for them.
Where is he right now?
He's probably in the basement. If you want, I can lead you through. It's not a bad situation.
What if the guy with the knife or the gun, or probably a gun, was behind the front door and just started shooting at the front door? That woman would have died, and so would the police. They're in the range of fire.
I got you.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Throw the fucking gun! Throw the fucking gun! Throw the gun away! Throw the gun! Throw the fucking gun! Throw the gun! Throw the fucking gun!
Officer Fiabane and Correa were both shot. The officers and emergency medical personnel then rendered first aid to the suspect, Vincent Correa, who was pronounced deceased at the scene. A rifle and a handgun were recovered from Correa's body. Officer Fiabane was transported to a hospital with non-fatal injuries and has since been released. In the next case, this cop begged not to be shot.
I'm not doing anything. Look, I'm not doing. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. I'm not. I'm finna shoot your ass. Don't shoot. I'm finna shoot your bitch ass.
On December 8th, 2021, Officer Andrew Ash responded to a disturbance call at an apartment complex. Upon arrival, he encountered 40-year-old Antoine Hill, but what happened next would haunt him forever.
Can I receive what you have? Okay, put it down on the ground.
Wait, y'all, wait! You're a rookie. You're a rookie. You're a rookie. You're a rookie. Go.
Okay, stay right there. Do not move. Stay right there.
Take your gun out, dude. Take your gun out
Stay
while you're
over
in the corner.
Please, sir. Please. Please. Please don't do that.
73, I gotta go with the gun. I'm not doing anything. Look, I'm not doing. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. I'm not. I'm not.
Schizophrenic.
Don't shoot. Don't
I'm finna shoot your bitch ass. Don't drop the gun.
Some kind of mental shit.
Look. I don't have it. I don't have it. Shots fired. Shots fired. The guy has a gun over here. Isabella.
Hill then fled into an apartment and later surrendered to officers after an hours-long standoff. Hill was not injured. He was booked into the Oklahoma County Detention Center on multiple charges. After the incident, Officer Ash had been placed on routine administrative leave. In the next case, the officers were led to an ambush by a bloodthirsty man who fired over 24 rounds at just one of the several officers he had lured to the scene.
Shots fired, shots fired. More cars, send everyone.
On October 12, 2022, Connecticut police detained Nicholas Brutcher after a bar fight. A huge confrontation occurred, and a car chase ensued. However, they ultimately released him with a public disturbance ticket. However, Nicholas wasn't finished. Upon arriving home, he dialed 911, luring officers to his residence by falsely...
Oh, Parents are home. 1 second. Sorry, guys. I can hear the doorbell. Be right back. Okay. Sprite. You guys ever feel sprightly? Ah, welcome back, Vex. Welcome back. Your power finally fixed. I heard it all. And Hunter also had problems. God, it sucks, doesn't it? Or whatever kept you occupied. I hope it went well, and I'm glad to have you back. Ooh, excuse me. God, I'm gonna wear a man bun and be one of them gay liberals who take it up the ass, but still married to a woman and have kids. I'm gonna get a haircut in the next few days once winter's officially over, chaps. I only just kept it buffy because of the winter. Homer Fan is also out of power. Oh, it never ends. Earthquake coming, Isaiah. Take care of those people in that area. Hope the meteorologists are on it. People have enough time to prepare. Often not.
Reporting an emergency. He then donned camouflage attire and prepared his weapons. When officers arrived and approached the side door of the residence, they were confronted with more than they could handle.
Right now.
Shots fired!
Female officer gets shot?
Concealing himself in some bushes in front of his parents' house, Nicholas opened fire on the 3 arriving officers, fatally shooting 2 of them while one managed to escape.
I thought they opened... For some reason, I thought they opened the front door and he just started firing at them. He was hiding in the bushes. He was literally setting them up to die. Damn it. God, I swear to God, if there's a hell, it's for people like this.
With gunshot wounds to the leg. However, Nicholas's rampage did not end there, as he continued to shoot at the 2 officers he had already gunned down.
$30 rounds.
Shots fired, shots fired. More cars, send everyone. Officer shot, officer shot.
The officer, fortunate not to have fallen alongside his colleagues, now had one duty: to take down the shooter. As Nicholas continued to shoot his presumably deceased colleagues at close range, bodies lay desecrated. The officer, moving to intervene, performed something truly remarkable.
You creep behind the guy and shoot him?
Clearly got there, check him out. Crazy.
Suspect down.
Nicholas's parents could only scream in horror as officers took down their son with a single shot from 40 yards away, hitting him at the base of the skull and killing him instantly. Nicholas had fired a total of 80 shots, with 24 hitting the first officer and 6 hitting the second officer, resulting in both of their deaths. The third officer, who shot Nicholas, survived his gunshot wound. The next cops were running from a killer who's trying to kill with his knife.
Put it down! Put it down!
On April 25th, 2024, Naugatuck Police Department received a 911 call that there was a male with a knife acting erratically. Upon arrival, they observed 24-year-old Kyle O'Kreen near a picnic table holding a knife.
The men and women in blue,
Somebody.
the police.
You want to sit down for me real quick? Huh?
One less
Can
crazy
you put the knife
taken
down?
out.
No. Put the knife down.
Put the knife down.
Put the knife down! Now! Put it down! You're gonna get tased! Taser, taser, taser!
Through taser? Shoot him dead if he runs at you with a knife.
Effective, kid.
His tasers don't always work.
Get distance! Get distance! Put the
Especially
knife
if the
down!
person's on like
The
some kind of
officers
drugs
initially
that
attempted to subdue
inhibit
O'Kreen
them
with a
from
taser,
collapsing.
but the deployment was unsuccessful. O'Kreen continued to advance toward another officer who...
Do you guys remember the Flucker zombies? Or the bath salt zombies? There was a certain drug, well before the fentanyl and the trank and all this all this toxic shit that people are just dying every time they touch it nowadays. There was this, it was bath salts, or Flucker. Street name for bath salts mixed with something else, but it was this drug that literally made people go crazy, take their clothes off so they're fully naked, and just start running into people and into car windows and windows of businesses. Some of you might remember that. I think the infamous case was that Flucker zombie guy who attacked the homeless guy, ate his face. That happened a while ago, but you don't know what people are have in their system, especially if you're a police officer and they're coming at you with a knife.
who then had to run for his life.
Get the gun!
Yeah,
Put it down!
definitely run for your life.
Put it down! Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out! Put it down! Put the knife down! Dude, come on!
Officer Crystal Hudson and Officer Joseph Palaiti discharged their handguns, striking and wounding O'Kreen. Officers on scene immediately commenced providing medical aid to O'Kreen, who was ultimately taken to Waterbury Hospital for treatment. He remains at the hospital in stable condition. Next, meet the most dangerous 23-year-old.
After all that, they perform medical they stabilize his wound and he goes to hospital and he survives. Gotta respect the police, even after all that craziness, they still try and save the freak's life after they apprehend him.
Yet, who managed to smuggle a gun into a police station. Around 1 a.m. on September 25th, 2020, Metropolitan Police officers on patrol spotted...
In this instance, one of these police officers at this station involving this dude has to be fired. How the hell does he smuggle a gun in a police station? Was he not searched when they arrived in the police station? Clearly not. Not properly, at least.
Spotted a suspicious-looking young man. The man, later identified as 23-year-old Louis DeZoisa, was carrying a duffel bag, wearing a black surgical mask and a coat. Given the repeated burglary incidents in the area, the officers quickly stopped and searched the suspect, and what they found on him was damning to say the least.
How many canisters?
Yeah, canisters.
Oh.
Right, at the moment, I'm placing you under arrest for possession of what I believe to be bullets.
Upon finding bullets in Lewis's possession, the officer quickly placed him under arrest and requested a police van with cell space to transport the...
It's in Britain. Now, I don't know how crazy Britain's become with its police, when their lack of carrying guns for whatever stupid policy their government has, or whatever's going on in the head of law enforcement in their government right now. But there's a lot of police officers that don't have guns. Certain police do in certain areas of Britain, but there's a lot that do not. And these are areas where they often find these crazies, whoever they are. So, cops should be open carry at all times, regardless. Because you'd rather be a police officer that has a gun on you at all times and never have to use it than be in a situation where you're under-defended.
The suspect to the station. However, as they awaited the police van, the suspect repeatedly reached in.
Remember Johnny Somali? He is expected to get out of jail in October. Oh, so he actually did have a jail sentence. Oh, maybe I hope he's learned his lesson now. Stupid idiot. Don't like that guy.
Into his coat pocket, much to the officer's displeasure.
Don't put your hands in your pockets. Don't do that again. Do you understand? Do you understand? That's the third time you've done that, and I've told you not to. Next time, listen to me, next time you're going to be handcuffed to the back.
He should have been handcuffed the first time he did it. What is it, like a free strike rule? I said no. Don't make me ask you a second time. Okay, don't make me ask you a third time. It's like they're putting a kid in timeout. This is a fucking criminal with violent intentions. Why isn't he handcuffed already? God, this shit is backwards in Britain. I don't know when it started, but God's sake, we should learn by example. I mean, Britain used to be the default source of Western civilization and how you did things, but nowadays it's all fucking backwards. All this socialism.
Alright? 3 times I've asked you. You speak perfectly good English. Stop doing it.
This cop
The
is
van
way
finally
too
arrived,
casual.
and the suspect was taken to the Croydon police station. Throughout the ride, despite his hands being cuffed behind his back, the suspect...
Oh yes, Vex, yes. Yeah, we're not like Britain. No, officers definitely have an open carry license. No, I respect the police in my country, and they get a lot done. It's just the bloody politicians are fucking it up for them, allowing all these perpetrators they put in jail quick bailouts constantly. And that's why you guys get those cases of career criminals killing someone, like that Ukrainian chick was killed by that fucking retard with the dreads, who's been in jail, in and out 17-something times, and is known to be mentally violent, yet is allowed outside in the public, free of responsibility, and then just knifes a chick in the face, or in the neck. I saw the video too. Oh God, it was awful. And I'm sure that's happened to a lot of people. We just don't hear about it because, swept under the rug. The white government can't look racist. I'm next and then Vex. Yes, Plush, no problem. Okay, it's nearly finished.
Continued to try and maneuver something in his coat. The suspect's sudden movements and erratic behavior earlier began to make sense when he arrived at the station, and officers, led by 30 years police veteran Matt Ratana, decided to conduct a routine search on him.
You go to section 54 post. Stand up.
At that moment, Louis pulled out a nearly foot-long revolver he had been concealing in his armpits all along and fired 4 shots. One shot struck Officer Matt Ratana directly in the heart. Another ricocheted.
I need to hear that again. I think we all do. I'm sorry.
You go to section 54 post. Stand up.
At that moment, Louis pulled out a nearly foot-long revolver he had been concealing in his armpits all along and fired.
How the hell are you police officers apprehend a suspect, not check him enough, search him, search and see? Do they not have the proper search and seizure methods like in America? a nearly foot-long pistol or gun, whatever, in his armpit. I know, right, Vex? I can't believe this myself. This is just... I mean, it's bad enough these cases happen, but then you hear these little small details that are huge red flags. I only know basic shit of law enforcement, you know, like anyone, but where's the common sense? At least in this situation, damn.
4 shots. One shot struck Officer Matt Ratana directly in the heart. Another ricocheted and hit Louis in the neck. However, as soon as Louis began shooting, other officers immediately tackled him. Both Officer Ratana and the suspect Louis were rushed to the hospital. However, the officer died hours later, while the suspect barely survived and fell into a coma for months. Louis also suffered a stroke and partial paralysis, but was still made to face trial. He was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. In the next case, the officer had only...
Good, I hope the other prisoners in there run a train on his ass. Oh, that's an occurring thing in prison. You know, the prisoners, regardless of what they did as crime, you know, the majority of them go into the prison and they do whatever time they're sentenced, and, you know, they learn from the mistakes and they move on and become better people. That does happen a lot. More times than not. But then there's these crazies. Especially when it involves kids or women. Abusing kids or abusing women or rape, molestation, murder. If someone like this does that and the prison and he goes to a prison and the other prisons around find out what he's in for and it's any of that, pretty sure you champions know they don't tend to survive very long in prison. Kind of like an internal justice society the prisoners do for society when it comes to these disgusting animals. Is it true the prisoners hate cop killers? In certain instances, Vex, yes. Especially if you have those prisons where the workers or the law enforcement workers, the prison staff, if they get along with the prisoners in general, then yeah, that can often be the case.
Himself to blame as he turned his back on a very dangerous suspect.
You never turn your back.
On August 6th, 2021, a woman from La Habra dialed 911 to report that a car had been following and tailgating her from her workplace in Laguna Beach. The dispatcher guided her to drive to the front of the police station, where the suspect, later identified as 22-year-old Matthew Tuan Tran, parked directly behind her. When officers arrived at the scene, the suspect quickly moved on foot to the building adjacent to the station. As officers approached him there, he did something totally unbelievable.
Hi. Good. What's going on here? I'm just seeing somebody right now. Okay. Are you associated with these cars? No. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, they'll get you in a sec. Okay. All right. This guy. Hey, geez.
At that moment, the suspect pulled out a firearm and fired repeatedly at the officer, prompting the officer's partner to shoot back at the suspect, effectively neutralizing him.
No!
Where you hit?
On the chest, fuck.
Okay, you're okay. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
The vest saved his life, thank God. Thank God the technology is there and bulletproof vests and this Kevlar, whatever you call it, the material that stops that. Damn. Still, he would have got a massive bruise, puncture, whatever, on his mark from where the bullet hit the vest. Just as painful.
1033, suspect is down. I've got an officer down. We need help.
The injured officer was clearly in pain, and while they called for backup and EMS, the suspect, who had already been neutralized, attempted to act funny once more.
Drop the gun or I will shoot you again! Drop the gun! Suspect, drop the gun! The gun's facing into the PD. Anybody standing in the inside this water? Hey, he's right here. He's got a gun in his hand. He's still moving. Get him out of here.
You're good. Where are you shot at? Where are you shot at?
When paramedics arrived at the scene, the suspect had already died. The officer, critically injured, was rushed to the hospital but recovered and was discharged a week later. The next case was almost unbelievable. A 19-year-old literally killed a police officer in a police station filled with cops.
Got an officer down. He's shot in our briefing room. We don't know where the suspect went.
On October 9th, 2017, Texas Tech University police officers responded to reports of a gun being fired at a college dorm.
You champions seem to be around more. I get more champions watching when I react to these type of videos, so I'll definitely react to more in future streams and stuff. Of course, I'm also nearly 2.5 hours in, so I guess some of you champions join me later in the stream. That's fine. Happy to oblige.
Upon arrival at the specified room where the gunshot was reported, they forcibly entered as there was no response. Inside, they discovered a CO2 gun, along with controlled substances and drug paraphernalia. They also spoke to neighboring residents who confirmed hearing the gunshot. And while this was going on, the suspect, 19-year-old Hollis Daniels III, arrived back at his dorm.
Hang on, what's your name, bud?
Come here, buddy. What's up? What's your name? Andreas. No, it's not. Come on. No, what's going on? Come on.
We've already talked to your other 3 roommates. We know what they look like.
Yeah.
That was a good try, though.
Hey, give him a chance to be honest.
Here, stand up for me real quick. Do you have any weapons or anything on you? Interlace your fingers on top of your head.
What is this called?
Keep your hands right there, okay? I'll explain it to you as soon as I get done. Spread your feet out a little for me.
His attempt to lie about his name failed miserably, and officers promptly proceeded to search the suspect, prompted by the report of the gunshot heard. Despite their search, officers did not find any weapon on the suspect, which is crucial to note, as it would later play a significant role in the case. With the search concluded, officers began questioning the suspect immediately.
Today we came by,
Spanish.
We got an order of marijuana coming.
Guy named
from this room. Had an order of marijuana coming from this room.
6:45 time.
Knocked on the door, someone locked it, so we left. Then we also got a report of the gunshot.
243, that subject that we flagged the ID for, came by the room while we were processing it. 6:35, speaking with you now.
Yeah. So what happened last night?
There was no gunshot in here.
That's what we're told.
By who?
Somebody that heard it.
Neighbor, someone.
Oh no, yeah, I didn't know. I wasn't even here last night. I was over at my buddy 28th Street.
He further confessed to having a CO2 gun, although since CO2 guns are not classified as firearms in the US and are therefore not regulated, the officers still wanted to know why the suspect possessed the gun and what he used it for.
Well, what do you use the CO2 gun for?
Honestly, I haven't even loaded it since I got here. Back home, we used to just shoot squirrels and stuff. I thought it'd be kind of fun, but then I realized I got here, there's not many squirrels here, you know what I'm saying? So, and then plus it's probably not good to have to go on campus like that.
Well, it's just, you know, it kind of
looks like...
Whenever we first went in, that was one of the first things we saw, and it's kind of like, with the information we had at the time, it's kind of like, you know, it looks bad at first sight. I mean,
with the suspect's alibi for the gunshot heard checking out, the officers proceeded to arrest him for the controlled substances found in his apartment.
Go ahead and stand up.
Am I under arrest? Sure.
The suspect was handcuffed and searched again, with officers once more finding nothing. He was then transported to the Texas Tech Police Department for paperwork before being transferred to the county jail by Officer Floyd East Jr., who, out of kindness, proceeded to uncuff the suspect at the station.
If you cooperate with me, we'll go ahead and pull these cuffs off in a little bit, okay?
Does he grab one of the officers' guns and shoots them?
The officer left the suspect alone for a while to get some paperwork. From the station's CCTV footage, the suspect could be seen maneuvering something in his pants while the officer was away. When the officer returned to his desk, the suspect did something totally despicable.
Right next to him, too.
Kids. Pretty old.
At that moment, the suspect pulled out a gun from inside his trousers and shot Officer East Jr. several times, prompting a lockdown of the entire police station. Medics were called for the wounded Officer East Jr., and during this chaos, the suspect managed to escape from the police station.
I guess so. I hadn't been in here since we got here. I heard the gunshot, but that was it. Yeah, he was searched.
Fully?
Apparently not.
A full manhunt was conducted throughout the city, and it wasn't surprising when the suspect was eventually caught at the Citibank Coliseum just 90 minutes later. Unfortunately, the officer died from the gunshot wound. It was a shame that the suspect went through 2 searches en route to the police department without the officers finding the gun on him. Hollis Daniels III later pleaded guilty to the murder of the officer and was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. If you enjoy videos like this, please like, subscribe.
At least the punishment is efficient, but god damn it. It's like two different scenarios where these perpetrators weren't searched properly and then the worst happened. Whew. Full on. Alright, they actually got a link. Let's check out yours. Damn it. It's like two different scenarios where these perpetrators weren't searched properly and then the worst happened. Pasha's next. Oh, sorry. Whew. Full on. Alright, they actually got a link. Let's check out yours.
You're the one who called?
Alright, cool. We're continuing on with the body cam videos. No problem at all. Two different...
You're the one who called? Huh?
On February...
Sorry. Distracted by the rude dogs. But anyway. EWU body cam. Like, subscribe, join, check it out. Cops discover their colleague has been murdered. Sorry about that, champs. Bloody occasionally the monitor flickers. I don't know if it's a bit faulty or whatever. I have to get it looked at or evaluated. But anyway, cops discover their colleagues have been murdered. EW body cam.
11th, 2024, authorities from the Las Cruces, New Mexico Police Department receive a call about a suspicious person loitering outside a local business. As Officer Jonah Hernandez responds to the 911 call, he has no idea that he's about to put his life on the line.
Oh, this bloody clip. Yeah, I remember this. This guy just came at him with a bloody knife. Ooh, snap these dogs. These dogs these days always barking when the neighbors don't care, or their dogs barking for no reason. Oh, rude. Is that why they call dogs bitches? Lighten the mood before we watch awful shit.
The following report is based on official police records, and most of the footage has never been seen before until now. This intense scene began with an unassuming 911 call into the Las Cruces Police Department.
If you'd like to also watch a cool reaction of body cam videos like this and similar stuff, definitely check out Los Polos TV, Lost Plug, or Los Polos Extra. The Italian champions, father and son, they watch a lot of these. And they analyze it too in between it, like talking about it and the situations, similar to what I do, but in way more greater detail, like the red flags and what could have happened if they were smarter in this instant. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, so check them out if you want to see that. Los Polo TV.
How can I help you?
Yes, ma'am. I have a concern here. My husband and I own a business property, and at the moment it's vacant. Okay. But we've been having a lot of trouble with homeless people. Mm-hmm. In the past, they have broken windows, and, you know, I've reported and everything. But now, yesterday, my husband told the guy that he could not stay there, you know. We're not there right now, but a friend of ours that just passed by says that he's back. Is there any way that I can have one of the officers that may be riding by there confront him?
Sure.
If it'll help.
Sure. Do you know what they're wearing?
A black hoodie.
Okay. They're headed that way now.
Do you know what they're wearing? Filth? Bloody homeless. No, I'm sure he's wearing the best Hugo Boss suits. Or something from Armani. Something else for? Oh, one of the panels, that's okay, whatever. Doesn't matter. Sorry about that, here we go.
So they should call soon.
Before the officer arrives, someone matching the description of the suspect is seen by passerby starting a fire on the private property. He's spotted again mere moments before all hell breaks loose, practicing his karate kicks. The person moments before all hell breaks loose, practicing his karate kicks. The person filming these clips will soon play a critical role in what unfolds next.
Bro's doing...
Okay, I know I've seen this. I don't know if I've seen the whole thing. I've seen a clip in compilations. I know this guy comes out with a knife and does stab the officer or once or something, but... I mean, this behavior alone should give the police enough, oh shit, what's the phrase? A probable cause, reason to investigate, so...
Like karate or something.
Shadowboxing?
35-year-old Jonah Hernandez is the officer en route, with no idea about the imminent danger he's about to walk into.
It's just the lead up to the encounter. I feel my nerves are...
How's it going, boss?
I'm feeling it.
You been staying here for a while? What's up? Is this your place? So you're the one who called?
What's that?
You're the one who called?
I didn't call.
Huh?
I didn't call nobody.
Without warning, the suspect charges Jonah, stabbing at him with a knife. Though he attempts to flee, Jonah is knocked down and struck multiple times. The suspect can be heard saying, "The f*** are you? You're not even real." Nearby witnesses see the attack and act quickly.
Stabs him saying you're not real. Why are people that are so mentally psychotic out on the street like no big deal? Just neglected? You know, most of these instances start off as a cry for help, and then for some reason their cries fall on deaf ears, and it just becomes so spirals out of condition that they become these type of crazies. That's how this happens, you know. It's not just somebody's just... I guess maybe it's a rare occasion where somebody's just born with their wires crossed and they're just violent or dangerous or whatever the case is. We used to have mental asylums for this shit. I know back in the day they also did awful things to the patients too, and I don't agree with that, and that's awful. Check out that history in those videos, champs. That's crazy as well, but you can't just rebuild the asylums or the mental hospitals and put these people in there so at least they're out of society and no people or police have got the risk of being stabbed to death, I mean, you would think it'd be at least talked about. Especially after Trump did all that rant about the immigrants. Oh, they're all from mental institutions and from the worst jails. They're the worst violent criminals. Well, then build some asylums and put them in there. Like they were back in Mexico or wherever else. Jesus. Oh, what up, Homer fan? Welcome back. Yes, I know Vex has 2 links. We'll get to it.
Drop it! Call 911! Hey! Call 911!
Officer, hey, where are you bleeding? Sir, officer, hey, hey.
The man attempting to aid Jonah is Isaiah Astorga. He filmed the suspect just before Jonah arrived. Immediately, the call goes out that a police officer has been injured, and authorities in the surrounding area rush to the scene.
We had several callers calling in stating at North Valley that the officer was possibly stabbed in the neck and the male suspect is down.
Isaiah desperately tries to keep pressure on Jonah's wounds, explaining what happened as help begins to arrive.
Yeah, I shot him like 3 or 4 times. He's stabbed in the neck really bad.
Where's the radio? Where's the radio?
Right here, right here. Okay. No.
Sit by the Crystal BD.
No, he's bleeding really bad. He was stabbed in the
brother.
neck.
Brother, please stay with us, man.
Hey, stay with us, man.
And we're all in shock, so of course I'm going to say something dumb. So whatever. That is
His neck. I've got pressure.
Put him on the side. Put him on the side.
Yeah, it would have slashed the artery in his neck and would have bled.
I'm trying. It's right where my arm is. Are you ready?
All right, ready? There you go.
And his back of the head, it's like sliced open.
Before we continue on, can we just put a nice free cheers in the chat for these police? America, Australia, Britain, wherever. They deserve way more credit than they get nowadays of all this stuff they get involved in. A lot of the stuff you wouldn't even think of unless we watched these videos like this. The ins and outs of what's everything involved in the confrontation to the point where they get put in prison. And in those instances where like they're not searched properly and like the previous video and they pull out a gun in the station and kill someone. God damn. Cheers. You want to leave, Plush, or you want to speak to me a bit nicely?
Stay right here, Jonah, all right? Jonah! Jonah!
Officer Hernandez will stay by Jonah's side for the entirety of this ordeal. While Officer Hernandez begins life-saving measures, other officers flood the area.
Where's the guy at?
Yeah, well, I have seen this, so I will move on. Okay. On to the next links.
Begins life-saving measures, other officers flood the area.
Where's the guy at?
Yeah, well, I have seen this, so I will move on. Okay. On to the next links.
Begins life-saving measures, other officers flood the area.
Seen it.
Where's the guy
at? Yeah, well, I have seen this, so I will move on. Okay. On to the next link.
The other 2 officers.
What the fuck is this old shit keep popping?
Begins life-saving measures, other officers flood the area.
Seen it.
Where's the guy at?
Yeah, well, I have seen this, so I will move on. Okay. Oh, so Vex is next then. On to the next link.
The other 2 officers.
the fuck is this old shit keep popping?
Against life-saving measures, other officers flood the area.
Seen it.
Where's the guy?
Yeah, well, I have seen this, so I will move on. Exactly, Tony. Things not to do. One of them is not getting stabbed.
Where's the guy?
Yeah, well, I have seen this, so I will move on. Exactly, Tony. Fix. Things not to do. One of them is not getting stabbed. Oh, damn, this will be crazy. Okay. Just going to each link back on my stream, that's why, Tony. I think it'd be pretty obvious. But anyway. Alright, here we go. Bloody cops realize killer mountain lion is hunting them. EWU body cam. Bruh!
There
Okay, hang on. Right, here we go. Love the body cam videos. We'll definitely react to more of them from now on in future streams. They are popular among all the different bigger name on YouTube. Alright, so cops versus a mountain lion.
are continuing investigation.
She was attacked by an animal.
That's the worst thing ever.
She was mauled by a mountain lion?
That is not a kitten.
Deputies head into the Colorado wilderness after a mountain lion fatally attacks a woman on a remote hiking trail.
How did you realize that?
But the recovery mission becomes far more dangerous when they realize the predator isn't ready to leave its kill behind.
I think he's been watching us the whole dang time.
I think you should shoot it dead.
Like, I'm just letting you know that
Stop
thing is still
allowing
hunting.
the animal
The
to
cat
approach
does have
you.
a death penalty coming.
The following is based on official police records released to date, and the footage has never been seen before until now. On New Year's Day,
This is a month ago too,
2026,
so more new
two
than
hikers in the
previous.
Crozier Mountain area alerted local authorities after witnessing a mountain lion dragging a woman's body off the trail.
Hello. How are we doing? Good. Okay. This is the two RPs. Oh man. And so, where's she at? So she's right there. Trail up there, about 100 yards. So we were walking, and I looked up, and I thought it was somebody's dog. And I thought, that's weird. But then I saw there was a large thing on the trail. So he's a physician. He checks signs of life. She was cold. Yeah, she was cold.
You are a physician.
Okay.
The woman is later identified as 46-year-old Kristen Marie Kovach, an ultramarathon runner, avid hiker, and certified medical assistant. As a physician, the witness was able to call her time of death at 12:40 p.m. But bringing Kristen's body down from the mountain won't be easy, and there are many dangers still lurking.
Why couldn't she have hiked in a designated area? Why does she have to do it in the woods where there's wild animals?
And you guys said you could still see the cat.
Yeah, he was trying to drag her away.
Okay. Have you seen which direction the cat went?
No, we kept going that
Southeast.
way. Hung around. It didn't go away.
It's probably still
Cat's
going to
not
be in
going
the
to
area.
drag her off.
So,
Oh yeah, we were creeped out big time. And we were like making a lot of noise and like that thing is not moving.
Also known as cougars or pumas, mountain lions are
Oh, yeah, that
elusive
looks like a
predators
pet.
and generally avoid people whenever possible. But they're also known to return to their kills over the course of several days to feed, so the lion's lingering presence is not unexpected. For deputies still hiking to the scene, this only raises the stakes.
it attacked one person, it could attack another one.
So get your guns out and be
Doesn't
ready.
usually mean good things about the health of the cat. I'm just gonna guess that this cat bedded down somewhere within a mile of this. Yeah. Just like, unless it's rabid. If it's rabid, then who knows? I mean, the nice thing is that these are thin trees. Like, these are not prime trees that a cat would want to be up in, I don't think.
Mountain lions often hunt by stealth, using trees, brush, or higher ground to ambush their prey. With civilians still on the trail and the lion's location unknown, a helicopter is called in to evacuate them and other hikers to safety. But as first responders remain at the scene and wait for more backup, a sudden noise leaves them on high alert.
Or a feline, whatever, the feline community.
They sound like birds. Have you heard a mountain lion scream?
Animals stalk you, don't
But have you heard a mountain lion call scream?
I've heard them call for their young. My analogy is it almost sounds like birds around you. If you think it's birds, more than likely a cat.
That's why I just perked up.
Yeah.
Capable of sprinting up to 50 miles per hour, a mountain lion can cover the length of a football field in about 5 seconds. And as deputies move deeper into the trail to observe the body, they're now entering terrain where even a few seconds of warning may not be enough.
And information from DOW. There are 3 active cats.
Butt juice. Totally. Oh, everything is butt juice in this situation.
Adam, copy all. Did you hear that?
3 cats?
3
yeah.
Nice. So there was
Cool. According to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, anyone who encounters a mountain lion should make themselves appear larger and more aggressive. That means opening a jacket, raising both arms, and throwing rocks, branches, or...
Isn't that the same scenario for bears? I swear to God, I've heard the same exact thing when it's bears encounters. But you have to look big and you know, roar, like, roar. Try and look as big and tall as you can. Much like when a bear goes on its hind legs to look intimidating and stuff.
anything within reach without turning away. But given the deputy's observations, it's likely the victim had
I'm not going to the woods without a full-on... What do you call those old-fashioned guns that are like really powerful? Boar guns, you know, like these elephant guns. Those ones with those shotguns that have the extra thick, not like spouts. They do a lot of damage, yeah. I'm going to bloody shoot one of those bastard animals in half if it dared approach me. Not that it ever will, because I've never been in the woods. Would you rather fight a bear or a mountain lion? Oh my god. What's similar to that stupid feminist shit? Would you rather be around men or a bear in the woods? And all those dumb idiots say, oh, bear. It'll be like a Disney experience. We'll become friends and have a tea party. You'll get your face mauled off. Mountain lion, easy to kill with my gun, I guess. And a bear. Bears can take a lot of damage.
Little time to react.
So, it looks like it jumped from there, hit here.
If the tracks are still fresh, you want to watch your back. It's probably around stalking it right now.
Probably. Maybe there.
Crazy.
Right there.
God, this half the stuff, I can't believe
probably
half the
lunge
stuff
from right here.
we react to.
I can see that.
Think about all of this crazy stuff involved in these videos.
And so
Not just these, but others.
Took her down right there, and then...
That makes sense.
And given her head position, I'm guessing broken neck.
Yeah.
The deputy notes multiple injuries on Kristen's body, including a broken nose and deep lacerations.
I'm just looking at myself right now with my hair, and if my hair was blonde, and maybe I dressed a certain way, would I somewhat look like that Smosh member Trevor's older brother or cousin? if I had my hair, maybe like my hair kind of like short, but it's still got a bit of length on top, with like a baseball cap backwards or something, going Yahtzee! Yahtzee! Can't do that high-pitched stuff, but you know what I'm talking about. Oh, random observation, I know. But let's continue.
Lacerations to her face. There are puncture wounds on her neck and jawline, where bruising has already begun to turn the skin purple.
Yeah, the animal
Deputies will
ripped her
later
throat out.
inform her parents of the devastating loss of their beloved daughter, but their first priority is hunting and euthanizing the lion
Never
that
risked
took
my
her
life being
life.
in the woods. Yeah,
Before
me
they
either,
can
Vex.
even begin a search,
Or
they
Tony or
realize
Flush or
they're
any of you
already
champions.
being
Why? 'Cause we're
watched.
sensible.
Park 6, I got eyes on the lion. North.
Now, that's what I'm talking about when it comes to protection. You got a proper shotgun, pump action shotgun too, like one of those 5 or 6 shell capacities, not just those sawn-offs or like a pea shooter, like a real firepower.
East of the body, it's just bedded down.
Oh, there's this big woman.
Hold up there! You see it right in between the trees?
Where are we at?
Straight from my arm here. Bedded down, almost looks like a rock.
Okay.
Victor 1, Park 6, he's probably only 20, 30 meters from you.
You're 9 o'clock.
Okay, to my right or left?
To your left, you're 9 o'clock.
I've got eyes on 25 meters out. Give me code 0 traffic. I think I can dispatch it.
Yep, see it.
I got a good shot too.
Just... yeah, exactly.
As the gunshot rings out, the cat can be seen fleeing through the trees and vanishing uphill.
Not
They
good
quickly head to its hiding space and see no blood or any evidence that the shot hit.
Hey guys, and just so we're all on the same page, I know we all saw it. That's a big cat. Yep. That is not a kitten.
Yes, in regards to shooting the cat, if you guys can get a location on it, try and hold it per CPW.
It's definitely not a kitten.
They need to be able to want to shoot it. If you need to,
They aren't going to be purring at you.
the head needs to be tested.
Investigators will want to rule out whether diseases, particularly rabies, played any role in the lion's behavior.
Thanks.
We'll figure that out after you shoot the animal dead, and then you can examine it. You know, maybe the mountain lion's just having a bad day. Shoot and ask questions later.
I kept hearing it. I thought I was hearing something.
Once I saw it, all it was doing was staring at you, and it kept getting
situation.
It
Never
kept
going in the
shifting
woods.
its position to watch.
Yeah,
it.
and I saw where you were, and I'm like, that thing is close to all of us.
And with us moving around and talking,
How many
and
nerves
still
just watching this?
got that close.
Yeah. That's
Keep
probably the
watching
biggest
it,
one
just,
I've ever
you know.
seen.
Colorado Parks and Wildlife informs the deputies that a specialized team trained on hunting and euthanizing will be arriving shortly. For now, their mission is to guard Kristen's body until a team can safely extract her. As they stand by, they remain on
the woman was a
edge.
conservative
I think
and
he's
liberal.
been
Like, oh
watching
my
us the
god, I
whole
can't
dang
have
time.
that. Just killed her.
Like, I'm just letting you know that thing is still hunting.
The cat does have a death penalty coming.
A team arrives and safely evacuates Kristen's body from the mountain by helicopter. Her death marks Colorado's first fatal mountain lion attack in more than 25 years.
I thought for a minute this was a prank
Doesn't
call.
matter if it hasn't
Just
happened
because
in
how the notes
decades. It
started.
can still
I'm
happen.
like, this isn't real. Even in the dispatch notes, it said mountain lion attack? ?
Because fatal mountain lion attacks are so rare,
be rare,
news
but
of the
it
tragedy
happens.
begins spreading quickly. As social
Even
media
the right
posts and local
situations, it
reports
could happen again
circulate,
quickly.
authorities grow concerned that Kristen's family will learn of her death before they can be notified in person. A deputy in
Look, guys, I know the mountains and the wilderness and the terrain. It's a beautiful setting, beautiful horizons, getting in touch with nature, and I get it. It's all beautiful and stuff. And I've been camping and I've enjoyed it when I was a kid, but you do it in designated areas where it's easy to hike and go back and forth back to your car, and there's no bullshit struggle to get from A to B, and you damn sure don't need to know ahead of time if there's an area that's infested with dangerous animals. It's like people never research before they do something anymore. Just do it and see how it goes. I've never had that mentality. I've always prepared myself to do things, even if it's a simple thing.
Chaplain arrive at their home, hoping they aren't already too late.
Hi, sir. I'm Deputy Reynolds with the Lamar County Sheriff's Office. Yeah. I'm going to step in and talk to you.
Can we step in for a moment, sir? Sure. Can I confirm
they're going to
that
let
you're
the guy know his
father?
wife died from...
Okay. And what is your name, sir?
Nobody's in trouble.
Yeah, we're ready for
This is going to be the worst part of being a police officer or a doctor at a hospital.
Is Kristen okay?
Telling the family of the death.
No.
That's wait until your wife comes first.
It might be something you may want to take a seat for.
When Kristen's mother joins them, the deputies confirm what her father has already begun to fear.
Regretful to inform you that Kristen has passed away. She has died. It was up in Glen Haven. They're still doing an investigation. And we wanted to come and let you know as soon as possible so you didn't hear it by any other means. That's the worst thing we could have.
Right, New Year.
Oh God, New Year's.
So sorry to have to bring you this news.
Was it a traffic accident?
No, she was out on a run on one of the trails by Glen Haven.
Someone murdered?
They're continuing the investigation.
She was attacked by an animal.
That's the worst thing ever.
I know. I can't, yeah.
She was out running. Yes. There's not many high
We were
altitudes.
waiting for her for dinner.
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
Deputies are later informed that Colorado Parks and Wildlife has successfully located and euthanized 2 of the 3 known mountain lions in the area. One had a gunshot wound, presumably from the gun earlier fired by law enforcement. According to a press release from CPW, both lions tested negative for rabies, leaving no definitive explanation for the attack. The cause of death for 46-year-old Kristen Marie Kovac was determined to be asphyxia due to external neck compression. The manner of death was ruled an accident. Her obituary states that she passed away while doing what she loved most, hiking in the beauty of Colorado's public lands. Watch our full videos as they were originally made, with no randomly muted words or details cut. We've also dropped brand new EWU videos available only on EWU Plus. Available now on iOS.
Alright guys, thank you all very much for joining me up to this 3-hour stream. Champion Creative number 22. Shout out to all you dumb idiot inbred Palestinian protester liberal bastards, or you Turks or you Arabs, whatever the hell these troll dumbasses were that were bothering me on X.com last night. Thank you for the inspiration of the thumbnail. No worries, Vex. Appreciate all you champs. Have a good night, and I'll see you again tomorrow.